All right, some entertainment stories. We'll start with this. Jennifer Lopez revealed in a new cover story for Variety that Ayo Edebiri had apologized for comments that she made on the podcast, a podcast ahead of their Saturday Night Live show together. The Bear actor had said on a 2020 episode that Jennifer Lopez's whole career is one long scam.
Yeah.
And it made for they actually put it into a bit on the show. But Lopez said she was mortified and very sweet. She said she came to my dressing room and apologized with tears in her eyes, saying how terrible it was that she had said those things.
Well, the skit on SNL that they did was basically a game show where you regret things you've posted in the past, which was very funny. And then at the end of that particular installment, Preston, they were both on stage side by side, and they were smiling, and it was all good.
I wonder what it was like for Io, though, when they told her, hey, you're going to be hosting Saturday Night
guess your
Live.
musical guesses.
She's like,
oh
no. What?
No.
The actor continued saying she felt really badly, and she loved my performance because we had just done my sound check, and she actually got to hear me perform, and she was like, I am so effing sorry. It was so awful to me. But she had commented, she said the comments that the actor made were nothing new to her. She said, it's funny. I've heard similar things said about me throughout my career, so it really didn't affect me. Which, yes, if you are an actor, a musician, if you're in the arts and you're in the public eye, people are gonna say you suck. People are gonna say you're great, and at some point, you probably just get.
It should roll off your back. But Jennifer Lopez herself, had to apologize to Jennifer Garner.
Oh no!
Apologize to Jennifer Garner and her pool boy Ben Affleck for incorporating them into my fantasy life.
Sure.
I apologize to anyone who's been offended by my fictional creations, Chris Lagan, the philosopher of evil, and the skull seal.
So we all have to atone at some point.
I'm just happy that we're keeping a man who stuck his mother's body in a freezer. His social
his legend.
Presence still alive.
I mean, we did the same thing for Hope Solo's butthole. Why not?
Did that.
Yeah.
We did that. Hey, 10 things I hate about you, actor Andrew Keegan. And I didn't see the movie, and I really don't know who this guy is, but I know a lot of people love that movie, so you probably know who he is. He is finally addressing the rumors that he started a cult. On the latest podcast of Pop Meets World, Keegan claimed that the Full Circle group that he created in 2014 was more of a community center. He said, I was connected with some folks, and we had this opportunity, this old Hare Krishna temple. It was sitting there empty, and we were like, well, why don't we get some people together and let's open this place up?
Oh, I know this guy. I like the movie.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the movie. This guy's appeared in a couple of different things. He said it's very similar to the Running Away Club, Preston.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, then that's not a cult.
He said, looking back, it was insane. I was putting down tens of thousands of dollars, but we opened it up and spent 3 years there and really did build an amazing friend group. He said after a Vice story wrote about the place in 2014, which was titled, One of the Stars of 10 Things I Hate About You Started a Religion. Rumors began circulating about his quote-unquote cult. He said, I probably should have had a little bit more media training at the time. He said there was no doctrine. We were just getting people together. The Co-Creators Handbook was the handbook that we used for all intents and purposes. It was a really cool community center for a bunch of people in Venice for a few years. So I was not familiar with the Co-Creators Handbook, so I looked it up, and this was the description per the handbook. It says, this guidebook is an essential tool for embodying and mastering the art of co-creation. It is designed to empower individuals and teams from beginners to those at the leading edge of transformation and contains specific tools and experimental exercises to assist you in discovering and fulfilling your life purpose as part of a co-creative team. And it sounds like, the cover of the book looks, kind of like it'd be a Dianetics type of thing.
What are you talking about?
Exactly. Yeah. It's one of those.
Did they have volcanoes?
It didn't have a volcano.
Then I don't want to hear it.
Okay. Speaking of Scientology, Leah Remini and Dianetics and all this stuff shared a lengthy post to social media on Monday revealing that her life has been, quote, a constant struggle since she left the Church of Scientology in 2013. She said the harassment that she's experienced from the church since leaving has caused her to be consumed by fear and struggle with depression. Remini claims that the church has, quote, operatives and agents that follow her and monitor movements. She added that they also hired vulnerable people living with severe mental illness to harass and intimidate me, putting herself, her friends, her family, and coworkers in danger.
This sort of activity is chronicled extensively on her show in the documentaries.
Very much
going
so.
Clear.
Rochelle and I watched the first 2 seasons of her show, and we were were fixated on it because it was so good. But yes, people constantly following her, waiting outside her home with video cameras, just trying to be visually intimidating.
Tailing them.
Yeah. And I could see them taking people who might lean with some mental issues and put them in a position to go after and surveil, because it gives them a mission.
They have actually, they have now changed the categorization of suppressive SPs.
Yeah.
There are people who are fart and those who are not.
Oh, you're either fart
there
or not.
Are FPs, fart people.
She wrote that she is sharing all this because she, quote, often feels very alone in experiencing it. Though she is often perceived as a tough broad from Brooklyn, the church's harassment significantly affects her mental and physical health.
Kathy, do you know who one of her besties is?
Who?
Jennifer Lopez.
Oh.
Yeah.
She filed a lawsuit against Church of Scientology and the leader, David Miscavige, in August of last year. She's accusing them of psychological torture, defamation, surveillance, harassment, and intimidation.
They have a high-powered legal team.
Yeah, they do.
So good luck to her.
And they have lots of money, too. Usher and his longtime girlfriend, Jennifer, are now married. And they got married right after the Super Bowl, according to a certificate of marriage obtained by CNN. A representative for the single said, "We can confirm that Usher and Jennifer Giocchia," it's a lengthy name, I can't pronounce it, took the next step in their relationship and did get married on Sunday night in Las Vegas, surrounded by close friends and family. They both look forward to continuing to raise their children together, surrounded by love, and thank everyone for their well wishes.
When you marry somebody with one name, then do you lose your last name altogether?
That's a good question, right? I mean, it just disappears.
Yeah.
The couple share a daughter named Sovereign Beau.
Sovereign Beau.
Yeah, born in 2020.
Beau.
And a son named Sire Castrello.
Stop it.
Born in 2021.
Yeah.
And Cy Edelon
Conca.
Usher also shares his sons Usher V.
With his daughter, do not remove tag under penalty of law.
And Naveed Eli with his ex-wife, Tamika Foster. So
they did it right after the Super Bowl.
that's a good idea.
Joe Buck was the ring girl.
Oh,
yeah.
No, that's a good idea. It's probably
it's a big night.
It's one of the biggest moments of his career, and why not? Put a little bow on it with the
Stop and think about it. All you have to do is go back. It's already catered because they provide food in the room.
Yeah, right.
You're actually saving money.
All right, we have a clip from the Super Bowl, and when Travis and Taylor embraced,
It's so magical.
to enjoy the victory, they were saying something to each other.
I actually found it kind of sweet.
And there's audio of this, and this is what they had to say. Here we go.
Thank you for coming, baby.
I can't believe that.
Thank you.
I can't believe you.
Thank you for the support. Thank you for coming. Thank you for making it halfway across the world. You're the best, baby.
Oh my God.
The absolute best. Was it electric?
It was unbelievable.
There you go.
Oh, it's so cute.
It is kind of genuine. And the fact that he also made sure to thank her,
Did you see some of the video from the after party?
Oh, the finger blasting?
Yeah.
No, they had they had an after party. Taylor posted on her Instagram page, and she said it was supposed to be close friends and family, and they just show like a club filled with people. And Jason had on the
luchadora mask.
the luchadora mask, and was dancing, and they've put it to like different music and people talking. It's really
Well,
funny.
her parents are very, sort of provincial, and they're sitting there in this sort of Las Vegas maelstrom, and she's like, maybe this is the wrong choice.
All right, this was an interesting story. Sally Field opened up to Vulture in an interview published on Monday about the dynamics behind the scenes of the 1989 classic film Steel Magnolias. She said the film's director, Herbert Ross, was very, very, very hard on Julia Roberts. She said, if you ever talk to Julia, she'll tell you. She said, we would all rally around Julia because she was the baby. She was the newcomer at the time. And she was wonderful, and he just picked on her. She said it was awful.
Wow.
So Roberts was 22 years old when the movie came out. And when asked why she thought Ross was so hard on the Pretty Woman actor, Field said, because he could be a real son of a bitch, that's why. And she said some people just need to have somebody that they pick on.
Hate people like that.
But we all came to her age, she said. So, yeah. And I guess
crazy.
she was the easiest target because everybody else was pretty legendary in that cast.
And they were all sort of... they were tough women,
exactly. So that's too bad to hear about.
And spoiler alert, she's sort of the focus of the movie. But
Julia got the last laugh, I'd say. According to today, Dunkin' Donuts released behind-the-scenes footage of Ben Affleck and Tom Brady
Have you watched them?
playing catch with a football on Monday. No, I did not.
They are so damn good.
In the clip, the actor interrupts Matt Damon and the former quarterback as they toss the ball around. All three men are sporting the origin pink tracksuits. And at first, Brady throws an easy pass to Affleck, and he goes, "Don't do me like that." And he encouraged him to, he goes, "Throw it with heat." And, of course, he misses it when he throws it to him, and he goes, "Yeah, wasn't ready for that." So that's him just tossing the ball around.
I think the funniest part of this is Matt Damon and his, he's my friend, so I'm going to do this, but I'm not into this approach. It's hilarious.
Yep, it's perfect. Yeah, and he goes, "Remember when I said I'd do anything? This is anything."
This is anything. Yeah.
just so you are aware, this is anything. This is a great quote. While speaking to People Magazine at the Santa Barbara Film Festival's Virtuoso Awards recently, Jane Lynch, who we love, referred to her on-screen lover in Best in Show, Jennifer Coolidge, as the queen of the gay mafia in Hollywood. She said that she herself is not part of any gay mafia in Hollywood. She said, "They haven't let me in, okay?" She said, "But I think Jennifer is. If there is a gay mafia, even though she's not gay, she's in it, and she's probably the queen. She's the queen of the gay mafia, not a drag queen, just a queen."
I've always liked Jennifer Coolidge, but I don't know why I love her so much more now. Like, even when I hear her voice, she voices a radio commercial.
Discover.
Yeah.
When I hear that, like, I'm like, I like kind of perk up. I'm like, oh God, I love her so much.
By the way, if you look at some of her earlier roles, and obviously as Stilper's mom, she was a seductress, a MILF, but she played, dramatic. She plays drama really well, but she is so a joy at comedy.
She's just so
and that
good.
persona is so, amazing.
I love the impressions that female comics are doing of her now, because I just, it's so obvious. I never really thought of it. Oh, that whole thing is great. So
I got to watch Preston show again. Their dynamic is so hilarious.
it is the very best.
What's the lesbian magazine for Bitch? Is that the
American Bitch.
American Bitch?
That was the name of the dog.
The lesbian dog owner.
The lesbian dog owner.
American Bitch. How about a couple more stories? Katy Perry revealed on Monday on Jimmy Kimmel that she is planning to say goodbye to American Idol after the show's 22nd season.
When I tell you that at this point in my life, I was a full-grown man on the floor in tears when I heard this.
She said,
And that's how devastating.
"I think this is probably," she said, "yeah, this will be my last show, my last season for Idol." She said, "I mean, I love Idol so much. It's connected with me like the heart of America.
It is the heart of America. Don't you say anything contrary.
But I feel like I need to go out and feel that pulse to my own beat." You know what I'm saying?
Not a clue.
She said, "I love that show so much, but I want to go and see the world and maybe bring new music."
So you want a little behind the scenes about this?
She said, "What's that?"
There's a little behind the scenes about this. When you finish the quote, I'll let you
Okay. She said, "Maybe I'll come back if they'll have me one day." And she had joined the show for its 16th season in 2018.
There were rumors that they were asking her and sort of trying to massage her to be the Simon Cowell,
Oh, really?
to be the more
Abrasive?
abrasive.
Yeah.
And that she wasn't comfortable with that.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so two more quick stories, and then we actually have some movies opening today, Casey.
Whoa.
For Valentine's Day, so
Okay.
we'll get to that.
Valentines.
So during a recent appearance on The Tonight Show, Sylvester Stallone revealed who he wants to play Rambo in a potential reboot of the franchise.
I was thinking Dakota Fanning.
No. As Rambo?
Yeah.
Jane Rambo. No, he said, "I met Ryan Gosling at a dinner. And he said, obviously, we're opposites. He's good looking. I'm not." He said, "Seriously, could you imagine me as Ken?" He said, "It doesn't work at all." But he said, Ryan goes, "I was fascinated by Rambo, and I used to go to school dressed as Rambo, and people would chase me away, and I still didn't stop. I'd vacation as Rambo." And Sly said he just keeps saying that he had a lot of affiliation with Rambo. And I thought, this is interesting. If I ever pass the baton, I'll pass it on to him because he loves the character.
What if you were to take Rambo, like First Blood, and take like a Paul Schrader taxi driver approach to it, do a real psychological profile, make it the revenge, but they sort of, gloss over that in the movie, and there's some parts where they dip into it big. But you could have Rambo is a compelling character.
Yes.
Especially the way it exists on film. It's only that way because Stallone took the script and said, because it was at first the script had him narrating everything.
Yeah.
Second off, there was a lot more dialogue on his part, and so what they said is make him this enigmatic.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what the reasoning is, why he's responding this way. You know that he was being manhandled by the sheriff. But it's a fascinating character.
Yeah, if they were to remake this, which I don't think they have to, would you prefer that they do it, update it, and it's somebody coming back from Iraq, Afghanistan?
Or make it a period piece.
Or do you do it same thing,
right?
80s.
Good question.
Home from Vietnam.
The interesting thing about Rambo, and at that time, you have to remember this is the early 1980s, was there was still that leftover angst that Vietnam veterans had being treated poorly coming back. And so that was part of that narrative as well. And plus his, maybe he had some post-traumatic stress disorder because he saw all this action. But I think they would probably focus on the PTSD and being in action in a more current
and I think what you do
something
is
like that. And you could do that,
make him. He's in the Salvation Army.
Okay, all right.
I think that makes it.
And the bell drives.
Ring my bell. Nobody put it in the record. Nobody donating. Standing outside of Macy's all day.
Call me bell ringer.
Call me bell ringer. Like I'm Hunchback of Notre Dame. Rambo, the movie Rambo, I think is such a really textured.
Yeah.
Because he you've seen that, right?
Yeah.
He's pissed. These people that are going in and
he's telling them not to go.
Don't go. And he's just a badass.
Because he probably in the back of his mind, he's like, I'm going to have to save these idiots.
Yes. This is not, I'm going back to the Salvation Army. Ringing the bell, standing outside of Macy's.
Cold outside.
Cold outside.
Yeah.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
Hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Nobody has any cash on him
Nobody has any
anymore.
cash, all credit cards, electric currency.
So it's got all kinds of options.
I can't feel my legs.
Yeah.
It's so cold.
One last story, and then we'll find out what movies are opening today on Valentine's Day. Cillian Murphy shared his honest thoughts about press tours during a cover story with GQ. The Oppenheimer actor admitted to being relieved a little bit when the SAG-AFTRA strike began because that meant he didn't have to promote the film anymore. He said, I think it's a broken model, speaking about the press tour system. He said, the model is everybody is so bored. He said, it's like Joanne Woodward said, acting is like sex. Do it. Don't talk about it. He said, people always used to say to me, he has reservations or he's a difficult interviewee. He said, not really. I love talking about work, about art. What I struggle with and find unnecessary and unhelpful about what I want to do is when somebody says, tell me about yourself.
And that's clear. He's not, I don't think he's the kind of guy who's up for bragging about himself. I was watching Tropic Thunder yesterday.
Oh my God.
And they're doing the Access Hollywood or whatever with Maria Menounos, and they cut to Robert Downey Jr.'s character, and he's talking about the craft. It's so spot on about pompous actors and actresses dissecting what they're doing.
Yep.
It's hilarious.
I was watching it too. I was
it's so great.
I was punching around. I'm like, I'll sit with this for a little while.
You guys know who that's loosely based on? At the time, it was sort of an inside joke of making fun of Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Because Russell Crowe took himself really seriously, and he was this good-looking Australian actor. And so Downey Jr., without saying it, that was a Russell Crowe
I love
impression.
Nick when he goes through the procedure, a medical procedure to darken his skin.
Oh my God!
And he's hugging the surgeons in the room, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, and the one black actor that's in that group is just not having it. I love it. He just he's like, watch it, Benson. He's like keeps calling him all these names.
What do you mean, you people?
That movie.
Our struggle. Our struggle.
What do you mean, you people?
Yeah.
What do you mean, you people?
Those are the lyrics to the Jeffersons.
It is.
Does it make it not true?
Yeah, it make it not true. Robert Downey Jr. is amazing in that
He's
movie.
unbelievable. He was nominated for an Oscar for that.
And they're clearly lampooning how wrong it is to do something like
That's
that.
That's exactly right. And so Ben Stiller talked about, hearing these actors who were likening their week-long boot camp to train for a war movie to actually going to war.
Steve, the part where I tuned in is where he's got to play Simple Jack, and he takes the false teeth out of
the other guy's mouth.
It's so horrible.
When he's with the little kids whipping him with the stick, and he recognizes his voice, he goes, no. He goes, say that again.
Simple Jack.
Yeah, the village loves Simple Jack.
God. All right, anyway.
Enough of that.
We've gone off on a
Kathy,
tangent.
you took us on a tangent.
Yeah, come on,
Sorry,
Kath.
I'm so sorry.
Stay focused. All right, movies are opening today. Yes. Opening today is the movie Madam Web. It's an action adventure. Stars Dakota Johnson, Sydney Sweeney, Celeste O'Connor. Madam Web tells the standalone origin story of Cassandra Webb, a paramedic in Manhattan who develops the power to see the future and realizes that she can use that insight to change it. Forced to confront revelations about her past, she forges a relationship with 3 young women bound for powerful destinies if they can all survive a deadly present. It's an hour and 57 minutes long. It is rated PG-13. We talked to Ryan Airy of Screen Crush yesterday. He destroyed it, and Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 17%. Yeah. I don't think there'll be a sequel to this.
No, Craig Lagan's Comic Book Gurus. We got the text. He concurs with Ryan.
Yeah,
he saw it.
And he likes almost everything.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
I disagree with him on some things, and he's very generous. He's a big fan of the stuff, but he says this is a stinker.
But he did say he enjoyed it.
He did.
Yeah.
But he said it's not, quality-wise, not that great. All right, also opening this weekend is Bob Marley, One Love, and it's a biopic. Stars Kingsley Ben-Adir, Lashana Lynch, and James Norton. It celebrates the life and music of an icon who inspired generations through his message of love and unity. On the big screen for the first time, discover Bob's powerful story of overcoming adversity and the journey behind his revolutionary music. It's an hour and 47 minutes long. Rated PG-13, wide theater release. Rotten Tomatoes score 39%, which is too bad. But, I mean, I want to see it anyway because I'm fascinated with the story of Bob Marley.
I wish they had stuck to the story. They needlessly include Doc Ock, which I think is a bad call.
Yeah, it's, they're trying to force things in movies these days. All right, but that's the entertainment report for today. It is Valentine's Day. We're happy that you're joining us this morning. We have some cool things. We'll go live on Fox Go Day. I'm sure they want to chat a little bit about Valentine's Day as well. Joining us later this morning, fresh flyer Jamie Drysdale is going to be joining us. He had a big goal the other night with the Flyers. They're on a tear. They're playing Toronto tomorrow night, which is his hometown, by the way. And we also have another thing going on. We have a secret text word, a chance for you to win a 4-pack of tickets for the advanced screening of Dune Part 2. Monday, February 26, 7 p.m. at AMC in Chamonix. So text word secret to 39333. Oh, I forgot. We have clips to play, too.
Oh,
totally forgot
that's
about
right.
that, Casey. Are you ready for love? The 30 singles on Love is Blind, Season 6 sure are. And here, Ashley, a 32-year-old nurse practitioner from Charlotte, North Carolina, reveals that she decided to join the cast.
I literally have everything in my life, but I just don't have my person. I'm ready to go headfirst into this experiment.
Oh, shut up, woman.
Love is Blind, Season 6 premieres today on Netflix. Next clip. Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures is an animated show that follows a group of younglings as they learn the ways of the Force. And in this clip, Emma Berman talks about voicing Nash.
I love my character. I get to pilot. I get to fly all the Jedi younglings around Kai, Liss, and Nubs. And I fly them in my Crimson Firehawk and Nash's ship. And she takes them on all their adventures and she gets to join them.
Oh, shut up.
Final 6 episodes of Star Wars Young Jedi Adventure season are streaming today on Disney+.
In the future, the thing is you want to streamline things for productivity. You want to make sure, obviously, you have this ultra tech that you're using to make things quicker. You could say kids, right, in the future.
Instead of younglings, probably. Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break now. I already told you what's coming up, so we'll do that in just a moment. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
Preston and Steve.
93.3 WMMR.
Thank you very much, Kathy. Well, last night was Galentine's Day. Today is Valentine's Day, of course, and we would like to spread the love, of course, but we were doing that last night when we went to Rivers Casino at Jack's Bar and Grill, and we had a great time with the gals, our sorority sisters.
It had been a while since the last sorority event. The Galentines model was perfect. I think we had like near 100% turnout. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
and everyone was ready for a good time.
And that with crappy weather earlier in the day. Fortunately, that was all gone by the time we got
I'll tell you what, it made the ride in.
Yes, it did.
So quick.
Yes.
It was
quick.
I got an estimate of travel time. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
And it was like 24 minutes from
I said that to you yesterday, Steve. I said I hope that this means that people stayed home from work.
they
so
did.
There will the afternoon rush will be light, and it was.
Yeah.
It was great.
Never stopped once all the way in.
If you were there and you want to share anything, feel free. 215-263-WMMR. We met some great people. We saw some old friends, and great time had by all.
So we had it's an interesting dynamic because we weren't allowed for some just whatever reason. You couldn't paddle, which is part of the ceremony.
I was a little upset at the beginning of the night because I was told they didn't feel comfortable with the paddling ceremony, and but I didn't let that get me down.
No, it was all good.
All right, which is too bad because we've all of our sisters have had it's like a sorority or fraternity. We have a little paddle that we use. But they didn't want us to do that at Rivers, so I was a little hurt by that. But a little butt hurt, but we moved on. But I have to thank them as well because Rivers Casino set a few of us up with these hotel rooms at the River Suites, which is right next door to the casino.
That video you recorded.
Oh, my God.
That's top level.
The hotel room is amazing.
Yeah.
So I had no idea that was even there.
Did we figure out what that building was? Was it like a substation or
I heard it used to be a Pico building, yeah.
I never even noticed that building before, and I've been in that part of Philly a million times. It's a really cool old building, but the fact that they turned it into this hotel and these suites was so impressive. There's like a dog park right next door, and it's right on the water. I was blown away at how nice that was.
I got to tell you, too, Jax, the food they put out, the buffet, everyone it was like a ton of food. No one was wanting for anything. The staff there was sensational.
Yep.
It's sort of divided off. The casino's right there, but you're in your own area. I love the setup. It was terrific.
By the way, the name of the hotel is River Suites. River Suites at the Battery, Philadelphia. So if you're ever down that way, say there's a show at the Fillmore or Punchline or whatever, you're right across the street, and obviously you're right next to the casino, which has plenty of restaurants and entertainment for the
parking. Lots of parking.
Lots of parking. We had a ball. It was wonderful all the way around.
We had some friends from events past show up, like the winner of our sweater contest.
Yes, from the Christmas Miracle. She and her friend were there. They were awesome.
I think somebody said, "Do you remember me?" Or somebody said, "Do you remember her?" Or whatever. And I just looked at her and go, "How could I forget you?"
Yeah. For those who don't remember, she wore pasties with our faces on them, and that's all she wore on stage, and ended up winning the sweater contest by a random drawing. And last night she won something because she was one of the people that had a condom when I asked for it. We did a kind of let's make a deal type of thing. She came flying up with a rubber in her hand.
That blew me away. You were asking for things that you would figure, okay, at least they're going to have to look through their pocketbooks or purses or whatever. Mm-hmm. The first thing you asked was like a Band-Aid. Got one.
Yeah, like ran up immediately.
Every one of them.
When you asked for a sex toy, I wasn't even really paying attention, but I saw out of the corner of my eye, she shot up and ran over to Preston. I was like, oh, well, that was easy.
Besides her, I don't know if you saw in the crowd, a ton of other women just held up their two fingers.
I saw everyone.
They held up their fingers. Anybody got a sex toy and all these ladies stick their two fingers up? I'm like, yes, nice.
There was also a woman, she cracked me up when you were talking to you gave a prize to somebody who was pregnant, and then you asked if there was anybody else in the room who was pregnant. There was another woman. You said, congratulations. And there was a woman kind of sitting over a little bit, and she went, I'm menopausal. Do I get a prize?
We had the full age range and listeners long time. We had recent converts, and it was just a great dynamic. But everyone was just there to have a blast.
Let me go to I have caller Kathy on the line who was there last night. Hi, Kathy. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? Sorry to bother you at work.
Nah, it's all right. So you were with us last night. You're one of our sisters.
Yes, I was the one that was screaming at win the Journey tickets.
Excellent. I really wanted them.
Nice.
But I have to tell you, everything from the time we were greeted getting there, first, let's say parking was easy.
Yep.
To being greeted, to just everything. The food was delicious. Your company was amazing. Kathy's bracelet making was fun. So you guys did a wonderful, wonderful job. I want
thank
to say
you.
Thank you.
We're glad you had a good time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the bracelets were, so there were a lot of people to process through, but right off the bat, Preston, you and I got handed bracelets.
I'm wearing mine.
Mine, the one that I loved immediately, the one that I got, it says, "That's so fart." Keying off the thing we did the other day.
Ice Spice thing.
Ice Spice.
Okay,
Thank you, Kathy.
So, the bracelet making was amazing. Everyone loved it. I think 95% of the women there made a bracelet. There were a few that didn't make it over, but like honestly, I think it was 95% of the bracelet kits were gone.
So I have 3 of them now. They were made. I love them.
So I helped tie the bracelet. So the women would string the beads onto the elastic, and then they would bring them over, and Marinella and I would tie them. So I saw a lot of what people were doing, and people's creativity is awesome.
Yeah.
And it just, it was just something different for everybody.
Oh, they were loving it.
But I will say, not that I was a fan of it, but there was a lot of fart bracelets.
Was there?
Yes,
like this?
There was.
That's
yes,
a fart?
Steve, like that.
That's
there was another one that
hilarious.
just said solid fart, like big letters.
Solid fart.
Yes, I was like, oh my God.
I also
this is a thing.
I have a Zeta pie, and then one did. Somebody did one for my wife's Mutiny on the Mashalou event, which is
Marinella
That
did
was
that for
Marinella,
you.
yeah.
Marinella did one called the Connoisseur for me.
Oh,
I have
that's
right here,
awesome,
and
yeah.
then a listener brought me one that said Rage On.
Yes.
So I've got my 2 bracelets, and then somebody brought me a Galentine's Day card, which I thought was really sweet. Ladies do that.
Yeah.
They bring you gifts. It's so sweet. And so I wanted to mention this. It said, hey, Preston and Steve, wishing you a beautiful day with all the love and happiness you deserve. Happy Galentine's Day. My friend said, thank you all so much for the great event, Stacy and Julie. So thank you, ladies.
I have to give a special mention to Melissa, who was so sweet and gave me a card. It's a military sympathy card for my dad, and then got some cards, World War II cards, and she was just so genuine and so moved. And she was with a couple of other friends that she's converted to the show, but she could not have been sweeter. And she was indicative of so many people we met last night.
Do you know where she works, Steve? Is Laurel House.
Yes.
Yeah, so we were taught, a wonderful organization, a great charity, and so it was cool to have her there last night.
I just want to say about the bracelets, Marinella Jewelry, she does this. She'll go out to, she'll do private events. If you want to do like a bracelet making event or something at your house or whatever, she does this. So if it's something you're interested in, she's Marinella Jewelry on Instagram. You can find her website also. But what I loved was that, and like you said, like you put a group of women together, they get creative, that people were showing up with bracelets already made to like trade out. So people gave us bracelets and then they would make their own. I had a few women that they got the bracelet making kits. They went back to their table and then they swapped with their friends. So they made their friend.
It was a great
the
dynamic.
bracelet.
Yeah.
Perfect. And thank you to Briganti Wines.
Yes.
For being there. John Dorenzi, our good friend, was hosting it. And the couple that own the vineyard were there.
Couldn't be nicer.
Yeah.
We're super thrilled about the exposure and just hanging out for the evening, and to see John with the whole thing, it was great. I mean, everyone was loving the wine.
Yep.
You guys know that I'm picky about what I drink and my wines and all of that. I loved it. The Rosé Prosecco was delicious. I had a few glasses of it, and I did also speak to the owners. The vineyard is in Italy. I thought it was locally.
Yeah.
It's in Italy. They travel back and forth. They have containers shipped over, and he said the wine is doing great, and I can see why. It was great.
So here's where you need to get it, though, because you're not going to find it in state stores. He was telling me there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through to make that happen. So if you want to try Briganti wines, they have them at your local Acme. So if you want to go in and get that, and you'll find them in restaurants in the area too, restaurants and bars.
They have it at Joe Canals in Jersey too.
Okay, all right, cool.
And the couple that owns it look like that they came off the cover of a magazine.
I mean,
They're super good looking.
Yeah, Mike and Lauren were their names. Did you know Mike was once part of the Phillies organization?
No.
Yeah, it's a whole backstory, but he sniffed the bigs for a little bit, and he was.
Oh, he was a player.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's got a really interesting backstory and a very good wine.
Okay.
Yeah, nice dude.
Yeah, that was a nice little added.
It was great.
Unexpected awesomeness.
We're so happy to have him there.
From that. All right, let me go to Lindsay, who's on the phone. Lindsay, morning.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, what's up, Linz?
Hi.
Hi, I was at the party last night. I was watching you guys on the YouTube, and I saw you guys wearing my bracelets. I made the bracelets, and I was also the pregnant lady that won the Journey tickets.
Yes. 7 months pregnant, right?
Yeah. I'm actually waiting to go to a doctor's appointment. It's just a regular one. There's nothing, just follow-ups.
Standard stuff. I think Preston had asked for was it a pregnancy test, right?
Yes, they wanted a pregnancy test. I couldn't find I was like, I have a positive one on my phone when I found out I was pregnant.
And as you're going through the phone, there's a picture of your ultrasound and all that stuff. So Preston, you just say, you got it.
Yeah, I gave her the prize.
Yeah,
most definitely.
But no, the best part was when I got it, I said, when is it? Because I was like, I need to make sure, one, that I'm recovered, and two, that I can get a babysitter.
Right. Excellent. And is this your first child, by the way, Lindsay?
Yes, this is my first. So we're really excited. We're the first grandkids on my mom and dad's side. So he's going to be spoiled.
Well, listen, thanks for, getting a night out in, even though you got a lot of things going on in your world. We appreciate you coming out last night.
Yes, it was so much fun. I already decided that I'm going to wear my bracelet from the night to my baby shower. This is my outfit. And but it was so much fun, and it was so much fun giving you guys the bracelets that I made as a Swiftie. It's just a fun thing to give out and hang out with people.
Yes, there were a few Swifties there last night. So
let us know when the little bundle of joy comes along, okay, Lindsay?
Of course, I'm going to have to get a Preston and Steve onesie for him.
Yes. All right, thanks, Lindsay. Appreciate it. Yeah, there was a good group of gals last night. There was I awarded a woman a best dressed Steven Singer Gold Dip Rose. She was wearing a lot of people were wearing red, which was great.
Yep.
And
I don't know how I forgot to do that.
She was wearing an all red outfit, and she had red angel wings and a halo and a little bow and arrow.
Yeah.
She shot me with it, and she was just awesome.
It was great. Dude, everybody was like so, and I love that as well because everybody gets dressed up, makes it so festive. I didn't wear red, but
you look great.
Oh, thank you. I was wearing my brand new cardigan.
We got to talk about that. I'm going to go to Christy real quick. Hi, Christy. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Great. So you were there last night at the Galentine's Day party?
I was. It was so much fun. It was great meeting all you guys, chatting with you guys in person.
Awesome.
Very fun, chill event. But I did want to give a shout out to Steven, the waiter that was out on the floor. That guy was amazing.
He was so funny.
So Steven has a little history with this show. When Steve and I first got there, he was telling us way, 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 way back when, had to have been maybe 20 years ago. He was on our show. He went by, it was in Pride, it was the Pride Parade or Pride Day.
Yeah.
And he was kind of like an honorary person for us, and his name was Sex Kitten.
So I didn't remember anything until he got to the name Sex Kitten. I remember that.
Yes, and he still was excited to tell us about it after all these years.
He was a total sex kitten.
He was awesome. It was so much fun.
Well, with Preston, when you made a joke that because we weren't allowed to paddle the women last night, when you made a joke that there was going to be a big orgy, he jumped up and started clapping. So it was a little motion, but it made me laugh.
He was right in the middle of everything right when I said that, and he's like, oh
perfect.
Yeah, so
I'm waiting for this.
Great. Thank you, Christy, for going last night. We appreciate it. All right, we'll see you. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, Cupid is on the line.
Hey.
The woman with the wings. It's Debbie. Hi, Debbie.
Hey, bitches.
Hey, what? How you doing today, Deb?
I had such a great time last night. I brought my daughter with me, and she loved it. I did nothing but embarrass her all night long.
You won twice, didn't you?
I did. I won the gift certificate to the steakhouse, the Italian steakhouse.
Oh, you're going to love it.
She won one of the big prizes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
$150 gift certificate to Mortorano's, I believe. Yeah, so that's great. Excellent. And the outfit was wonderful. You wearing it again today for Valentine's Day?
Actually, my boyfriend is wearing it to work today at the construction site.
All right. At the construction site.
Oh, that's
hilarious.
Great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Deb, enjoy. Thanks for going last night. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Great time.
All right, we'll see you later. Absolutely. Yeah, we need to do, we got to plan another one down the road and get together because, and I owe everybody a good paddling.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let us do it last night.
They were asking. They were disappointed. So we'll make good on that.
We were trying to think of a way we could do it, and I was like, well, I could just use my hand, but that's probably worse.
Yeah.
I think that would have been worse.
Local broadcasters slapping women around.
Yeah. And then we thought about maybe using a gold dip rose, but we would have broken it and stuff like that.
I had a lot of roses to give away, a lot of good stuff. So, you know what? Again, there's something bizarrely almost enchanting about large plates full of sliders. like who's that character? Wimpy from the Popeye? Yeah. It's like, oh my God.
I know. I went over and grabbed a few of them. And they were really, really good.
They were great.
The food was excellent at Jack's Bar and Grill, by the way. And they have a lot of great restaurants there. And I haven't been in Rivers in a long time. It's been a few years. It's changed since I was there.
I was thinking about that too. It was so nice. And I had just forgotten like that part of the casino is also right on the river. And like, so you get great views. And I'd love to get back there in the summertime when the doors are open and you can just, experience being outside.
I wish they had like a few heaters out because you were right in a really great spot.
It was a cool room.
Yeah.
But that one caller that called in, like the parking situation, I was like, oh, thank God. It was so easy.
Yeah. Oh my God. Parking wins every time.
Every time. Parking
Every time.
And the lack of traffic on the way there, it was great.
Usually our events are effed up by weather. This one was enhanced.
How many of you guys came up 95 North?
I did.
All right.
Yeah.
So I didn't even notice that they took that part of the tunnel 95 down. So that was gone. Didn't even notice? Did you, Press?
I don't remember the tunnel on 95.
Right by Penn's Landing. There's that. I guess it's part of the big project.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Oh, the cap that they're doing.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, they took it off first,
right? And so they're gonna the intent is for you to be able to walk essentially from Center City over to Penn's Landing in that part of Philly. Actually, probably to Rivers Casino.
Okay.
But there's so much construction along and like new apartment buildings and
Nick,
I just was impressed by all of
I
that.
had almost like the Royersford siren go off in my nav system when going back. It just said, construction. So I went home like Kelly Drive and all that stuff. But man, it was, I've never heard as austere a construction warning come through the system as I did last night.
Yeah, I got off at Girard. I'm sure you did too. And there were like buildings, new apartment buildings going in there that I had never seen before.
Me neither.
So they're doing a lot of work.
It looked nice, But you're right about that hotel across the street from the Fillmore. Like if you're ever going to a show down there, I cannot recommend it more highly. Really cool building and a really cool space.
We have pictures of the event. Kyle was there last night taking photos and videos, and you can go to PrestonandSteve.com and see what the activities were like and what our crew was like and all the people that are now on board and members of the Zeta Eta Pi. I'm looking at a picture of Debbie hugging me with her wings on. And also Maribella. Was it Maribella, Marissa? No. Or Marissa. Kathy. Good Lord. Marinella.
Yes,
Sorry.
Marinella Jewelry.
What's your name again?
I'm Kathy.
Marissa.
Okay, you're
Said
Kathy.
like 7 names. You're like Maribella, Kathy, Aaron.
Who is that? Barsky?
I am all over the place.
My grandmother would do that with me and my brothers, and then she'd get eventually end up with my dad's name. Nicholas, Thomas, Joshua.
We just answered to Calvin at my house.
You answered to Calvin?
Calvin. My dad, because I was Kevin and Casey would become Calvin. Like, you're probably trying to talk to one of us.
That SNL did about for the senior citizens, the Echo, the Alexa for it answers to 200 different names.
Not to sidetrack, but my brother's first name is Adam, but for the first year of his life, my grandmother called him Arnold. So for the entire first year of his life, he was known as Arnold around the house.
On a side note, can I ask you guys a quick question? Nick, you have to recuse yourself because you. All right. Do you ever call Ben by your brother's name?
Oh, yeah, sure. Josh.
Okay.
I call him Josh, and I call Josh Ben.
Okay.
But it's only one brother. Like I'll call Jace Christopher.
Same.
Seamus is Kevin sometimes. Kevin is Seamus sometimes. And then
I call my wife Kevin.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Casey's brother?
Do you ever call Ange Caroline or Caroline Angie?
Never have.
Never have. Okay.
That's so weird. And it is always just the one.
Yes, same.
That's so bizarre. Okay.
You get it? It just gets stuck for whatever reason.
Traditionally, the sibling you most want to have sex with.
Jesus.
All right.
It's wedged in there for whatever reason. All right, anyhow, check the photos at PrestonandSteve.com if you would like to see what was going on at our Galentine's Day party. It was our first ever time doing a Galentine's Day thing.
Loved it.
That was excellent.
Loved it.
Thank you, Rivers, and thank you again to everybody involved, and that is Briganti Wines and also the bracelet making with Marinella, and it's Marinella Jewelry. All the links and stuff to these people you'll find on our social. And
a last second gift from a jeweler we're very familiar with.
The Kathy Romano collection. We had a piece of jewelry last night. And thank you to Steven Singer for the gold roses.
Oh, fantastic.
And Marinella's daughter was there last night, and I was talking to her a little bit afterwards, and she said, she's like, I just hear your show from her Marinella's studio is in her home, and she's like, I just hear your show all morning long coming from her studio. So she listens.
That's great.
Love it. All right, we're going to take a break, come back in a second. We're going to go live on Fox. Good day. We have some bizarre file stories, too, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve.
Back on 93.3 WMMR.
Thanks, Kath. We've got about 3 minutes before we go on Fox Good Day. A couple of things I would like to pass along. I got this email from Toby Donaway and the Rotary Club of Glassboro, New Jersey, and he asked if I would mention this, and it's a little thank you and congratulations to a couple of people. He said, I'm reaching out to spotlight 3 remarkable Glassboro High School students. Oleyinka Osanowo, Caden Hertung, and Hannah Yuma, I'm not sure, who recently were recognized with the Presidential Service Award for Exceptional Volunteerism.
Wow.
That's huge. And he says, under the guidance of their advisor, Tina Spadafora, these young volunteers have set a high standard for community service. We aim to honor them locally to inspire more youth to take up volunteerism and ensure a vibrant future for our community. And we're deeply grateful for the acknowledgement of the Preston and Steve Show to spotlight these students and promote volunteering as the next big trend.
It's amazing.
Says, thank you for the joy and kindness you spread. So we appreciate that, Toby, making us aware of that. And congratulations to those kids. Because that's huge. That's I assume that's a national award.
Yes, it is.
Presidential Service Award.
My son is required before he graduates, has to have like X amount of hours of service hours. Do you guys have that in your high schools at all?
No.
I don't recall my daughter's having that, but my son, so he's been going to Phil Abundance quite a bit.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
We had to kill 2 people. No, that's a 00.
That's a 00, yeah. A couple other quick things. We have about a minute and a half before we go on Fox Good Day. This says, hey, gang, former intern Sam here, and I wanted to reach out and see if I could get a shout out that mentions my new podcast called No Credits Rolled. It's a gaming podcast where I cover video game news and review what I've been playing. I linked the Spotify and Buzzsprout pages below. Any mention would be great. Thanks for your time. And that is from intern Sam Whalen. So there's a shout out for that. And then last thing says, hey, Preston, longtime listener. I've been with my loving wife for over 35 years. February 29th, she's retiring after 40 years with the state of New Jersey. And for the first time in those years, she says, I want to go to the Cardboard Classic. Well, I nearly fell over. Didn't think that she ever heard of such a thing. So we're making it a weekend to come and join you. Could I get a shout out for my wife on that day? No, we're going to be a little busy.
Yeah. So
thank you and rock on. P.S. Another side note, I used to work at the Don Cesar in St. Pete, Florida. That's where my mom used to work.
That's right, yeah.
So that's from Mark Capetta. So there you go. We have about 10 seconds. We'll be hearing the music from Fox Good Day in just a moment or two. And we got to get ready for Cardboard Classic. I have a meeting today about that, actually.
Yes.
It will be here before it's 2 weeks from Friday, which is just insane.
Unbelievable.
All right, we should be hearing music any moment now. And Marissa's checking. She's on the phone with him. 5 seconds, it says. All right, so not it says, she says.
That thing says.
Here we go. Yeah.
From Love Park, Preston. Happy VD, everybody. MMR.
A lovely VD to you, sir.
Thank you.
You can't even say it. It's like the people who say happy birthday versus the ones who say HBD, There's a difference.
Well, there's some people who are morally opposed to Valentine's Day. They just see it as a greeting card holiday. Other people love it.
I'm kind of in that boat a little bit. I mean, my wife and I finally have realized that, it's more like, you love me? Yeah, I love you. All right, good, we're good. But, the big flowers and all the stuff, we don't do that as much.
There's a lot of pressure, and the pressure usually falls, I think, more on the guy, does it not? In the
Yes.
Right. So it's part of the deal.
That's why the pressure, that's why we don't like today. We don't like today.
You don't like today because today's the day that you really should, if you're not normally doing things, now's the day that you get pressure to actually do something to show you care.
I know, but
Alex has an agenda here. It's actually my anniversary too today.
It is.
So yeah.
I just see it as
double the pressure.
I just see it as it's just another thing. It's just another thing.
It's like Arbor Day.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
No.
You know what, Alex, though, you said double the pressure. You don't have to worry about Steve. He's like he's a really good gift giver.
Yes.
Oh, well, Mike asked me in commercial, or before we went to commercial break, he said, who do you think out of the whole Preston and Steve crew, who would be, what did you say, the most romantic?
The most romantic. Who's the romantic in this?
Well, who did you say, Alex?
I was going to avoid.
She said Nick.
I remember
She's right.
how he proposed, and it was like the Eiffel Tower. He brought Paris. It was in the pandemic. Am I right, Nick?
Sort of. My fiance was being romantic with me, and so she brought Paris to our living room during the pandemic. But look, I give her stuff
So that
all
was
the
her.
time.
Would you like
she's
to?
the romantic one. I had it wrong.
She is, yeah. But
Would you like to amend your assessment?
I'm
let
with.
me change that. I want to change my answer.
Right, no,
Who
she's
is
the romantic one.
romantic?
I think it's Casey and Steve. I think it's kind of a
Casey?
tie between the two. Yeah, they're
Okay.
very creative when it comes to gift giving. They're very thoughtful. They're always aware of other people, unlike me. They are ready for all these occasions, and I always forget.
Yeah,
them.
as a matter of fact, I got your wife her Valentine's Day gift.
Thank you for that,
Casey bought
Casey.
Preston's
Yeah.
It was only because
Well, he's making it work.
Yeah, no, it was only because the store where the chocolate-covered strawberries came from is right around the corner from my house.
Yeah, so it worked out. But Kathy's always walking around with a romance novel and talking about Fabio and
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I'm
Here
cold.
are my chocolate-covered strawberries for the TV audience.
They're big.
Yes.
Yeah,
Three- 320 Market makes the best I've ever had in my life.
They get their strawberries from a place just out of 3 Mile Island,
Yeah,
and it's amazing.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
My kids love them.
Noble strawberries. Oh my God.
See, y'all need to help Mike. Casey, can you help Mike next year? 'Cause
I got you,
I
Mike.
think he's struggling.
So,
to figure out what to do.
Mike, you just have no chops when it comes to the romance? I find that hard to believe.
I can be very romantic.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what's
yes.
the holdup? What's the problem?
Leave me alone.
I saw a video of you about to close the deal with Michelle Pfeiffer, so don't tell me.
Yeah.
Oh. You know, we did go downstairs. It was at the Four Seasons Beverly Hills.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
Downtown.
No, not that.
Yeah, he did.
Not that far down. It was just down the lobby.
Wow. Well, listen, no, you're the man.
See you, kids.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Happy Valentine's
We love
Day.
you
All
guys.
right, we'll
Says
see
I
you
went
later.
downstairs on Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, Mike's got game.
He sure does.
Yeah, he may not be a romantic gift giver, but Mike's got game.
Yeah.
For sure he does.
He's got the Riz, as they say.
The Riz. All right, we got to do the B-File. Here we go.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, I got some stories. We're going to start with this follow-up story. I was actually pleasantly surprised to hear something about this. A 45-year-old man was arrested in the theft of the bronze Jackie Robinson statue.
Yes.
That was cut off at the ankles and found days later smoldering in a trash can in a city park in Kansas. His name is Ricky Alderett. He was taken into custody earlier this month in a kidnapping case.
Did he think it was a real person?
No, and charged
Why
on
don't you
Monday
talk?
with 4 counts stemming from the theft of a 2022 case. So at first, I thought this was somebody who was making some kind of a racial statement or something like that. But I was happy to see the police said there was no evidence that it was a, quote, hate-motivated crime, but rather the intent was to sell the metal for scrap.
That's what I suggested, yeah.
Wichita Police Chief Joe Sullivan,
Yes.
our old friend,
Yes.
said that it was only the first arrest and that there were more to come. He did not specify how police determined Alderett was a suspect in the theft.
I don't know where the precinct that Joe works for is now, but I'm sure it's near the restaurant district.
Fire crews found burned remains of the statue 5 days after it was stolen, and it was in a trash can. Alderett, who is jailed on $150,000 bond, faces charges of felony theft and aggravated criminal damage to property in the statue case, but he was charged Monday with identity theft and making false information in an October 2022 incident. And some type of a kidnapping thing as well.
This is bizarre.
They didn't explain in the story. So
I can't believe our old friend made it into the bizarre file.
I know.
When he's in Wichita.
yeah, in Wichita, Kansas.
Nothing really here.
Yeah.
Moves away. That's what always happens.
Makes it into
Your
the
career
B-file.
goes on high the second you move away from us.
All right, here's another. A mobile home owner plummeted dozens of feet to the bottom of a septic tank Before she was hoisted to safety Thursday when a California fire crew lowered a rescuer in to retrieve her.
I just want to die at that point.
Yeah.
Just kill me now.
Listen to this. So the woman fell so deep into the dark pit at the mobile park that while rescue workers could hear her, they couldn't see her.
My God.
She plunged
Let me die.
Yeah. She plunged 25 feet down when the ground beneath her quickly gave way. And when she was walking in her yard, as crews figured out a way to pull her back up.
Can you throw down some pool noodles?
They had to contend with the possibility of a cave-in because of the limited access and unreinforced soil surrounding the dark hole.
So I assume they draw straws for the dude that's got to go in.
Yeah, right. A rope system was thrown together and a rescuer was lowered down with his initial descent being recorded and posted on social media by the department. The rescuer put a harness around the victim and the pair were then pulled up from the tank.
So if you're in a septic tank, do you do the Australian crawl?
Oh my
the butterfly stroke? What?
Freestyle.
I drowned myself and let myself die. I don't want to come out of that.
The woman suffered non-life-threatening injuries to her lower body and was taken to the hospital. The State Housing Board, which handles mobile home parks, investigated the area and
Shit, you felt like crap.
Fixed the septic tank access. In Rhode Island, a hiker was forced to kill a coyote with his bare hands Friday afternoon. Police Chief Mark Vieira said that the coyote attacked the hiker in a wooded area. The hiker was able to pin the coyote down by its neck, and it suffocated to death as a result. Vieira said the coyote bit the hiker in the leg. And it's unclear whether the coyote was acting suspiciously prior to the attack.
Rabbit, maybe?
Department of Environmental Management recovered the coyote's remains, and they are testing it for rabies. There have only been 2 reports of rabid coyotes in Rhode Island since 1994, so it's pretty rare.
In nature, do they observe the laws of Greco-Roman wrestling? If you pin an animal and tap out, will
only if there's a ref there.
It has to be a ref there.
Yeah, there has to be a zebra there.
This comes less than a day after a dog walker was bitten by a coyote in another Rhode Island city. The Department of Environmental Management is investigating whether the attacks are connected due to their proximity or not.
Like a big syndicate?
Maybe. Richard Plaud, a Frenchman who has dreamed of building the world's tallest matchstick sculpture, made headlines this week when Guinness World Records rejected his huge model of the Eiffel Tower, saying that Plaud broke the rules. He said, "It hurt me."
It hurt me so terribly.
Guinness World Records said, but after their official review, that it seems that we have been heavy-handed in the application of our rules in this case. This is according to Mark McKinley, who is the Director of Services.
See. Why don't you wait here? I'm going up to the roof and I'm going to piss on you.
The 1:45 scale model stands a little taller than 23.5 feet. It took Plaud years.
It's freaking amazing.
And more than 700,000 matchsticks to build the finely detailed structure. Finally, last month, he unveiled the finished result to thousands of people and his followers on Instagram. The unveiling drew a large crowd. Plaud enlisted the survey firm AGT to validate the structure.
America's Got Talent?
That's what I was wondering, too. The event was memorialized in a video, and the Guinness Records organization initially said the materials that he used were too different from standard matchsticks.
Come on.
That you can buy in a store.
Give an award for something.
At issue was his decision to go straight to a French matchstick company and arrange for a shipment of sticks that were evidently fairly standard, but lacked the match's normal flammable tip. I guess he didn't want the chance of that thing catching on fire or something like that.
To me, it's got the stick of the matchstick. That's all that matters.
Well, they reversed their decision, so it counts.
Yeah.
At first they said it didn't
Put them through all that,
but now it counts. So they've done it. But
thank you.
It's crazy the amount.
I owe the Preston and Steve show for this incredible turnaround.
The work that goes into that. All right, let me see. Time for one more story. Something that's not a crazy downer. How about this one in Florida? A woman who was attacked by her own bull back in November received unexpected news while in the hospital treating her injuries. Teal Mull is her name. She was on her ranch on November 10th when she walked outside to see her son getting, she said, whammed by their 2,000-pound bull they call Barry. Her next decision was the one that only a mother can make. With her son knocked out, she tried to block the bull from getting to him.
Bull blocker.
And she said, "I regret that, but I also don't regret it." The bull chased her in circles until eventually ramming her and goring her.
Oh, my God.
She was then knocked to the ground by the bull. She said, "I just kind of gave up the ghost. I was like, okay, I can't hold out any longer." However, her brother-in-law, Garth Mull,
Oh, really? The country musician.
Garth raced over with a tractor and pushed the bull away. Garth said they're a lot stronger than you think they are.
Also, I think it's Lord. Yeah, Darth Maul.
Darth Maul and Garth Maul. You're right.
Yeah.
Teal was left with face and body bruises as well as a broken rib after the attack. But the scans, listen to this, here's where it turns. The scans taken that night, the hospital revealed something else. She had lung cancer.
Oh, my God. So, in a way, the bull saved her life.
That's right.
Unless she's terminal.
No, they had the potential. The cancer did have the potential to kill her within a year.
Do you think the bull knew?
I don't know. But
because I can't talk, I need to do something to alert you to the cancer in your lungs. Oh, I am talking.
But the surgeon, Dr. Sidious, removed the. No, I'm kidding. Dr. Jonathan Daniel removed the tumor just 2 weeks ago.
He had a double-sided scalpel.
She got the news that her cancer had not spread.
Yeah.
And but Teal promised to give up smoking after her diagnosis. Doctor said those decisions often come a little too late because lung cancer oftentimes doesn't show symptoms until it's in its early stages. So, but nonetheless, she wouldn't have known about it had that bull not kicked her ass. So she's getting the treatment she needs.
The bull beat down.
That's what I have in the bizarre file for you. All right, as we take a break, don't forget secret text word. Chance for you to win tickets, a 4-pack of tickets for the advanced screening of Dune Part 2, Monday, February 26th at the AMC Neshaminy. Text the word secret to 39333 to get in the running for that. We'll take a break and be back in a moment. Don't forget flyer Jamie Drysdale joining us this morning around 9 o'clock. Be right back.
WMMR.
So with the Pearl Jam announcement yesterday, 2 shows, September 7th and 9th at the Wells Fargo Center, MMR is going to be kicking off 10 days of Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
Starting on Friday. So you listen for the Pearl Jam song of the day. Be the 25th caller when we play it, and you win a pair of tickets for the September 9th show. If you go to WMMR.com, there's a cheat sheet. And it'll help you win, to narrow down when we're going to play the song, and another chance to win tickets online as well. Ticket sales are going to be done using verified fan registration. The deadline to register is Monday at 2:59 a.m. Eastern time.
Wow, that's specific.
And that will be, you can go to WMMR.com and get all the details.
And you might even be eligible for trash removal from the Bagster.
That's a dumpster in a bag, right?
Yeah.
It's like a dumpster in a bag.
Yeah. Nick has written an article at WMMR.com as well.
Yeah, basically just covering my love of the band over the last 30 plus years, which is insane. And the first time I ever saw them was 1998, and I've seen them pretty much every tour since, and gone to other cities to see them. Obviously, Pierre and Matt Cord and I got a chance to interview Eddie a decade ago, which was pretty incredible. So I just wrote a little bit about that in conjunction with the new record coming out, the single that came out yesterday, and the tour announcement.
All right, I'm going to throw this at you. I'm going to do it. Your favorite Pearl Jam concert.
Oh, well,
one concert.
When Eddie said my name at the show, it was kind of hard to top that. So that was October.
No, but I mean performance-wise, besides that accolade.
The last show at the Spectrum was okay. Special. I mean, like, they were closing the building. Bruce had done 4 shows a month or so before that, and then Pearl Jam got the honor. Pearl Jam did the last shows at the old Chicago arena where the Blackhawks used to play and the Bulls used to play. And then they also got the honor of closing the Spectrum, which was really cool. So those last 4 shows, Steve, they were pretty incredible.
Amazing, huh?
Yeah.
I saw them at Lollapalooza the second year that Lollapalooza made the tour. They were an opening act.
For the Chili Peppers?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, they were in daytime, like daylight. And the Chili Peppers were the headliners.
Okay.
And so they were like the second band on. It was crazy. And everybody was excited because 10 was huge.
Yeah.
And that was the album that they were promoting at the time. And Eddie did the thing you wanted him to do, man. He climbed up in the rafters. It was a shed theater, and he climbed up in the rafters, and we're like, whoa, it was like right out of the video and stuff. So.
It was, there was a different Eddie at a different time. But there's a lot of cross-pollination between the Chili Peppers and Pearl Jam. Eddie was a roadie for the Chili Peppers for a stretch. He's a huge Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. And Chad Smith, the drummer for the Chili Peppers, it was the drummer on Eddie's solo tour 2 or 3 years ago. So it's cool to see those bands kind of evolve over the years.
He was a roadie for the Chili Peppers?
Yeah, he ended up being like that's kind of how he cut his teeth in the concert world and the live shows, by going out with the Chili Peppers. And he was one of those dudes who was pushing equipment up onto the stage.
Wasn't he really shy initially?
Yeah. Like when
kind of like a Jim Morrison type of thing. Really, arty guy.
Yeah.
But
On
front
stage
of
it
a
come around.
crowd,
Yeah.
He got strange at first.
So
and
much
then-
so that he his back was to the audience. He couldn't face them, and it was really Stone Gossard and Jeff Amen's band to start, and then Eddie kind of took over.
Okay. So what about buying tickets through this verified fan thing?
Here's the thing.
What's that all about?
Well, first of all, it's ironic that they have partnered up with Ticketmaster the way they have, considering the battle.
The Great War, yeah.
30 years ago. The best way to get all the information, and I'm not saying this just because we work here, go to WMMR.com. Marissa's done a great job with the post. There's this 10 Days of Pearl Jam post that's up on PrestonandSteve.com. WMMR.com has all the information about how to get the tickets and when and the verified thing. So go there, and it's simplified for you guys.
The 7th and 9th, is either one of those a weekend?
Yes, indeed.
Are you going, Preston? You think I might go?
I might. The last time I saw them was on the Versus tour. That's how long it's been since I've seen Pearl Jam.
Yeah, so Saturday is the 7th, and then Monday is the 9th, and then they're doing the Garden, Madison Square Garden before that, and then they're doing Fenway Park after Philly. But yeah, we get a Saturday show and a Monday show here in Philadelphia.
Preston, I hate to tell you, you won't be eligible for that Baxter offer.
Because I endorse the product?
Yeah.
Well, that's a shame.
Boo.
It's a
Boo,
good product.
Eddie. Boo on you. But maybe he'll say my name. Maybe, Nick, can you introduce him to me?
Yes.
And then maybe he'll say my
A
name.
number of years ago, I met someone I thought was pretty special, but I had my eyes opened up. There's someone much better. His name is Preston.
That was a crazy name.
I'm having Casey pull up the audio.
Okay, all right.
I want to play that again.
We don't have it.
What? That's gone? Like for good?
Yeah,
It can't be. I refuse to live in such a world.
Wow.
No, we've got it somewhere.
I would hope that maybe Pierre has
Somewhere
that
where
somewhere.
unicorns run free.
There's in the band released that as a bootleg, so we can pull it from
There we go.
Okay.
the band somewhere if we need to track it down.
Nick-
By the way, Jamie Drysdale in 2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, we can do that. Want to talk about Pearl Jam for another 2 minutes?
Sure.
I got nothing else, so.
You were asking me
You
something.
need to understand it's a dumpster in a bag. I mean, you've seen dumpsters, the weight, the construction, that you could do effectively the same type of trash removal with a bag.
Eddie, wait, was the song Porch actually about
Exactly.
the Bagster?
We were breaking
Damn
the
it!
porch, yeah, exactly. And that old woman behind the counter?
Yeah.
She worked for Baxter.
Right.
Casey found the audio.
Okay.
It's just the one clip.
Oh, it is?
It's only like a second long.
All right.
To Nick.
Here you go.
That's it.
All right.
That's it.
We've got.
Oh, we really need. I forgot about Josh Klinghoffer. Also used to play with the Chili Peppers. Now plays with Pearl Jam. He's
That's right.
in the touring band. So.
That's right.
Anything
And-
else would be a waste of time.
So would you
He
say
read for that?
Yeah.
But also, wait, Jack Irons?
Jack Irons drummed for both bands, right?
Yes, yeah.
a lot
Jeremy
of
Irons?
And
Jeremy Irons is a great actor.
He was Scar in
Yeah.
The Lion King.
And where do you want me to set up my drum kit? Wait a second, you're from the Lion King. You're bad at that.
Let's connect Jeremy Irons to Will Forte because he was my date at that Pearl Jam show in 2013.
Do you know what we should do? Honestly, reach out to him because of all this going on, and
Will?
and Will Forte, and see, because that was. It was a crazy confluence of events that led you to be him as your date for perhaps the most magical night of your life.
He just happened to be in studio that morning. I forget what he was promoting. But
Bagster.
I had he was promoting the Bagster, but I had an extra ticket, and I asked him if he wanted to go because I didn't have anybody to go with that night. And ended up hanging out with Will Forte for the night.
Wasn't Jeremy Irons a spokesperson for the Bagster, too, at one point? Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. You understand?
I love
what it is a form of sanitation. I like to say sanitation, but without boundaries. The bag is flexible and yet sturdy enough to hold your rubbish. I have to concur, Jeremy.
One of my favorite parts about that piece of audio when Eddie is saying your name, but he's also saying Matt Cord's name. And so Will Forte is standing there, and you can hear Matt go, That's me.
That's me.
He turns to Will and says, he's talking about me.
The original audio that we have that we played several times is Matt recording it, and so if when you hear that and when you hear Matt say "that's me," that's from Matt was recording it on his iPad. When you hear the official audio, the quote unquote official audio from the band, you don't hear that because it's just Eddie, from the stage or whatever.
Listen, I love Matt Cord dearly. Is he one of these guys that brings an iPad to the concert to take pictures?
Well, he did that night because we had the interview before the show, and also Matt had an inclination that Eddie might say something from the stage of the night, so Matt wanted to make sure that
got it memorialized. Yeah, okay, exactly. All right, I'll give you a pass, Matt.
Nice. Well, it would be wonderful if we can, since he'll be here for a couple of days.
Yes.
Maybe we can get some time with one of the band members, maybe Jeff Amen or something.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I mean, the band is certainly aware of the connection of the radio station to the band, and so it'd be cool to say hi to Eddie again.
Do you think we get the band in here and do another dildo race, Preston? In the
man,
that's crazy.
Yeah. What did we call that thing?
It's the brick. No.
Oh, what did we call that race? I can't remember. It was the Dildo 500 or something like that, maybe?
Was that with Nikki Glazer?
Nikki Glazer.
Yeah.
She had her own
that's right.
vibrator with her.
She came in second.
Yeah.
But she was competitive. It was one that actually they supplied at the hotel.
I remember I couldn't believe it. She was like, "Oh yeah," she like whipped it out, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
You just carry that around with you.
You just have that in your purse.
She's a sex fiend, without question.
All right, so I believe Jamie is on. Yeah, there he is. Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah,
hey,
right. Killed enough time.
Hey, we love meeting new people, especially when they're scoring goals. It's a wonderful thing. But no, he's a great addition to the team. And they're playing. They've been on a tear. They won 4 in a row. He had a great goal the other night to tie things up. And now they're playing in his hometown tomorrow night against the Maple Leafs. Ladies and gentlemen, give a good Philadelphia welcome. Wait, what am I playing, Casey? Oh, yes, hang on. Please welcome Jamie Drysdale to the show. Jamie, morning, man.
Morning.
Nice to see you. Thanks for coming on, man. And, welcome. Officially, we welcome you to Philadelphia. I know you've been here for a little while, but we wanted to say welcome. Are you enjoying everything that you've experienced so far?
Yeah, it's been awesome so far. Yeah, absolutely no complaints on my end. Everything's been great.
Well, we got to find out a little bit about you, if you don't mind, since this is our first interaction. We've met many team members throughout the years and had a lot of friends. We've been on the air here in Philadelphia for 25 years, so we've had the opportunity to meet the likes of yourself, and hopefully you're going to be here for a while. But you were in the league for a couple of seasons before coming to Philadelphia. And you're on the younger side of things, man. How has your life over the past 5 years, is it just still a bit of a whirlwind for you being this young and being in the bigs and all of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely still crazy, but obviously I'm real fortunate to be where I'm at. And it's just exciting every day, coming to the rink, kind of being around the guys. It's I'm not gonna lie, it's been a good life to live, and
I'm sure, man.
Grateful that I'm in this position and
this young.
Yeah, and since I've come to Philly, it's been amazing, and I've been lucky so far. So
heading back home to play against the Maple Leafs, I assume growing up in Toronto, you had to have grown up a Maple Leafs fan, correct?
Yeah, I'm definitely guilty of that, but left that behind.
How do you flip that switch, right?
Yeah, it makes total sense, but you do have to now you got to work, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I was a pretty big Leafs fan, but I think once you get into the league and you start playing against them, I think that kind of goes away pretty quick. And it's funny because my buddies keep chirping me. They're like, "Who do we cheer for? You or the Leafs?"
Yeah, right. Totally. Yeah, as a kid coming up playing hockey, pond hockey or whatever, you go, okay, if I make it to the NHL, I will never play for which team?
Wow, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
You don't want to kill a potential career.
Yeah, I know. You can't answer that
You
right
don't want to
now.
go on record. Yeah.
I'm
What
just
if,
saying,
what if you'd said the Flyers years ago?
This is a kid,
No,
Jamie
no,
Drysdale.
no,
This
no,
is not
no.
adult Jamie. Who understands the
Kid
business
Jamie
side.
Drysdale.
Yeah.
But adult Jamie Drysdale doesn't want to answer the question, which I totally get.
Which director, Oscar-winning director, would you never work for?
Right, exactly.
You don't want to say something like
But
that.
listen, Jamie, when you were making your way up as you're growing up, and they're starting to see the talent that you had as a kid, and I know it starts really, really young. We've talked to many people about that through the years. You have to not only be a great player, but you got to make the right decisions along the way. Where you're going to play, who you're going to play for, what positions, what coaches are going to be able to steer you in the right direction. Who was guiding you through all of that in the younger years? Was it your parents, or do you have siblings, or anybody else that was helping you out?
Yeah, I'd say it was kind of mainly my parents and probably just my agent as well when I was younger. I was pretty set on going to play college hockey, to be honest with you, up until probably a week or two before the OHL draft, and then stuff kind of switched pretty quick, and then I ended up going to the OHL, and here I am. So I guess kind of decisions work out how they do, and I'm glad that kind of was the decision made.
How old were you when you first started using an agent?
I think the right answer is 16.
16.
Yeah. What is the legal? What does the league approve? Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm not sure. I might be. I don't know, but yeah.
He was standing outside the birth canal.
Yeah, agents know when they see talent.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Jamie, I saw something the other night with the Coyotes game that I'd not seen before, and I thought it was really cool. The Coyotes players had their siblings in attendance. They got to be in a suite up for the Flyers game, and I know the Flyers have done like dad's trips and mom's trips. Have your parents been able to go on the road and see you play outside of Philadelphia at any point?
Yeah. My parents, they like to come to as many games as they can. They've made trips out to New York. They've made more so when I was playing Anaheim, but here they've been out to Philly a handful of times, and we had a dad's trip in Vegas for Super Bowl weekend last year in Anaheim. So
wow, yeah,
that was pretty cool, and so it's always nice to have them out at the games and on the road, and they get to check out some new cities, so it's pretty cool.
Well, I think hockey, from what we're learning, and Kathy has a son who's playing hockey. The hockey parents put in the most work, so you got to make sure they get a good return on their investment.
The most work and the most money.
Yeah, that's probably, I'd say, maybe biased, but I'd say it's probably a fair assessment, with all the stuff and crap that they had to deal with growing up with me. And I was a pretty big pain in the ass, I'm sure. Grateful for them. And, it's, as of now, it looks like it's paid off a little bit so far. So hopefully we can continue on that road.
Yeah, hopefully it'll pay off in my situation as well. But like you spend all this money, and then he's like, "Hey, I need a new stick." I'm like, "No, you don't. We just bought one." He's like, "No, this is too heavy, or the wrong, or we taped it wrong, or whatever." And so now I'm buying sticks and tape and all new stuff, and he hasn't even been playing for a year.
Yeah. You got to keep up with the times. It's the newest stick.
Jamie, I have to admit, like when they announced that Vegas was going to join the league 6 or 7 years ago, I was skeptical. I didn't know if it was going to be a good hockey market. And then, when you were playing with Anaheim, I'm sure you played there a little bit more often than you do with the Flyers. But that franchise, first of all, is fantastic. They made it to the finals their first year. They won the Cup last year. But the environment in which they play, like, it really seems like Vegas fans are into being a Knights fans. Have you experienced that when you play? I mean, I know you're an opposing player every time you've gone in, but have you experienced that as a player coming from out of town?
Yeah. It's pretty electric there. I'm not going to lie. They got a good setup. And yeah, it's a wild building.
Well, it's 120 degrees outside, and the game involves ice. Of course they're going to love it.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure every time I've played there, it's been sold out. And it's a pretty electric environment. So it's it's turned out to be a real good spot.
Jamie, to find out a little bit more about you personally, can you tell us a little bit about what kind of music you're into, or are you a movie guy? Are you a gamer? What are the type of things that you're doing outside of hockey that are leisure for you?
Yeah, I mean, I love movies. I'm a big country music guy.
Really? So
Yeah.
who's rocking your world in country music?
I wouldn't stray too far off the standard, but Chris Stapleton, Luke Combs, Cody Johnson, just kind of standard. But yeah, that's pretty much all I listen to be honest with you.
All right. With movies, you try and get out and see new stuff that's coming out regularly, or you just go back and watch the old stuff that you like?
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen too many. I'm usually looking pretty often, but I haven't seen too many movies that I'm interested in seeing come out as of late. But more into like the thriller kind of mystery movies, kind of stuff like that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, just kind of fun watches, stuff like that. So yeah.
Not superhero stuff. Are you more like the
I love Marvel.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big advocate of Marvel.
All right.
Nice. What do you think about the more recent movies? We had a lengthy, because we're way into that, discussion about how they've really got to reel things back in and kind of get back on track. You know, it's kind of strayed off the path.
In terms of Marvel?
Yeah. The quality is taking a dip.
Yeah. I think after Endgame, when they kind of, cut off a few characters and whatnot, I think, there's a little bit of a reach for sure in the newer movies.
Well, maybe Hockey Man could be.
Okay. All right.
And we know a young man who might love that role.
Ooh, a character called Hat Trick or something like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Speaking of hockey, I want to ask you a hockey-related question. This team this year, it's been really interesting to watch, especially on the penalty kill, because it's become an offensive-minded penalty kill. You, I think, lead the league in shorthanded goals. And I don't know if that's like a Tortorella-infused thing or where that comes from. But what's your perspective on how good offensively the penalty kill has actually been this season?
Yeah, it's been amazing. It's fun to watch. I mean, I think you just have, it's kind of the similar mindset that, the 5-on-5 mindset. It's just kind of run and gun and be aggressive and take your opportunities where you can. And I don't think anyone's shying away from that. And I think that that's kind of one of the reasons why it's been so successful is, everyone's kind of working in unison and staying aggressive and wants to create as well. Just because you're a man down, it doesn't mean you can't score.
How long? So how long before you get to a team? You got to the Flyers before you're walking around town or whatever, and you get your first call from a passerby or whatever. How I assume the reach and penetration of Flyers fandom is pretty huge. How quickly did you notice? Okay, I guess I'm here now.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't gone out much.
You don't. You're a shut-in.
Around a lot. It's usually just a kind of apartment to practice or apartment to game rink. To be honest with you, as of late, but in walking a couple times for sure, which is I'm not necessarily used to. And in Anaheim, that wasn't too much of a thing. So you definitely notice it, and just seeing the buildings and a packed building and playing in front of a packed building when it's your home fans. It's been a great experience so far.
You're going to get way more on the street recognition here than you would in Anaheim.
Yeah.
Definitely. Your opinion on cheesesteaks? You had any yet?
I have. I'm a big fan.
Very good.
Yeah.
Welcome to Philly.
Very good.
And by the way, we've been in a bit of a playoff dearth here in Philadelphia for hockey for a few years, and I don't mean this as any disrespect to Anaheim, but just wait. If the season were to end today, the Flyers are a playoff team. I believe they're a playoff team. Just wait until the playoffs roll around, Jamie. You're going to love this city and what they bring to the arena.
Yep.
So I've been told. Yeah, I can't wait.
Excellent, man. Well, listen, we're happy you're doing what you're doing for the team, and glad we had a chance to meet you like this. And we'll see you in person. We'll definitely be at games, and if we get a chance to hang out, we'll spend some time with you. But we're thrilled to have you on the team, and you're doing great so far. So welcome to Philly, man.
Awesome, appreciate that.
You got it. Anytime, Jamie Drysdale, guys. Take care, man. We'll see you soon. Playing Toronto tomorrow night, his hometown. Which has got to be strange, man.
Yeah.
You grew up, and I know he's kind of lightly touching on it, and he's doing the right things. He's not, saying too much, but it's got to be weird going back to your home and playing against the team that you grew up.
I think it'd be hard for me to not skate around with my autograph book.
Yeah, right? Pardon me, real quick. I know you're working, but all right, anyway, nice guy. Let us take a break and come back in a moment. We got some time to spend to chat about other things, so we will do that very thing when we return. So stay put. We'll be gone in just a moment. Or we'll be back in just a moment. We're going to be gone now.
Yeah, and then back.
We had an event last night.
Back on 93.3 WMMR.
Thank you, Kathy. I have I've got a couple things I can go to over here, but before we do that, before if we go to like the Just Saying Institute or something along those lines, Steve brought something up that has to do with Valentine's Day, which I found was kind of interesting, and it was a question as to appropriateness.
Yes, do you want to
in giving Valentine's Day greetings or cards?
Right.
Yeah. So do tell.
Sending Valentine's cards or presenting Valentine's cards to coworkers appropriate or inappropriate, and is it a safe way to ask someone out on Valentine's Day?
Good question. If it's a friendly Valentine's Day card, a cutesy one, right? I think that's okay. I think I've gotten them before.
When was the last time you got at work a Valentine's
So like
card?
somebody like Sarah Parker would give, would give you a Valentine's
sort of a
Day
generic,
card.
not
just
like I want you.
No. More of a a cute little
like you would get in
acknowledgement of the
school.
day. Yeah, exactly.
In fact, I feel like she or somebody else, we used to come in here on Valentine's Day and there would be a little Valentine waiting for us. And I thought it was from her.
I think it was Sarah.
Yeah.
Marissa got me a pickle bouquet one time.
Oh, yeah.
It was then that I knew she wanted to get in my pants.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I let it go. No, it was one of the best gifts I've ever received.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
so cool. Thank you, Marissa, again. But listen, it is. I think it's a safe way to maybe test the water to see if somebody's interested. But
you think in this environment, is it?
But if you're just giving it to one person, then that's a red flag.
What if you present it to them while they're asleep at their home?
Okay.
With a flashlight.
Like slide it right under their pillow while they're there?
I'm wondering, because somebody was talking about this, about in this day and age, how is the approach for simply going in an innocuous dating? You know what it reminds me of the Bedazzled, the Brendan Fraser one. So at the end, he's totally awkward, and then he goes and does the thing with his coworker where he says, "I think you seem rather interesting, and maybe we go out for coffee."
Yes,
and it seemed like a very nice. And she's like, "Oh, that's so sweet."
Yeah.
Is that how most people would receive that these days, or is
only if they like you, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
That's the
she
weird part about
said
it.
no. She said she was with someone, but
if they are interested, then yes, it's definitely but that's where you're taking a chance, because then if they aren't, then it becomes a problem or can be a problem.
And if it goes well, will you touch it? I think that's the part you leave out.
You've just made it bad.
Yeah.
It totally depends on context. If you feel like there's a connection with a coworker, I think that it's fine. But you just have to be aware of the environment has changed over the last 10, 15 years.
You guys ever had casual relations with somebody you've worked with?
Coworkers?
Yeah.
Besides Kathy?
I hate you so much.
I have. I remember a couple times where just being out and not even expecting it. And this was, in my young 20s. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm making out with somebody I work with.
Yeah.
Just because we had been at a bar, maybe a function or something like that. And we're both drunk, and the next thing you know, we're making out.
As a non-drinker, that like an office party or something, that didn't present itself to me. I did. There were a number of times where it was through work, where a lot of times I'd end up going out on dates and dating people through work. I was working so much that was the thing. In fact, I'm married for 27 years to somebody I met at work.
Yeah.
I had two people that I worked with ask me out. I was young at the time, and they were older men. And I said,
"Kathy, are you interested in a couple drinks?"
Bill?
Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
And I said no to both of them.
I know a great little soup place.
And they both then made working with them extremely awkward.
Santa's got to go.
That sucks. I mean, listen, I
totally.
get it. Shoot your shot, but don't take it out on somebody
Dude,
that's not interested.
The one guy made it very, very awkward. He would still say hi and talk and whatever, but I could just tell there was like.
How much older, Kathy?
10 years.
Inappropriately older?
It was probably more than 10 years.
Okay. So he approached you in a way that was not respectful, or was it
Listen,
wait, hold on.
Because I want to know the parameters.
I will. I'm going to tell you. But let me tell you. So
because I think this could be helpful to the guy who's in the office right
who's
now,
trying,
putting together a pickle bouquet for someone he wants to nail.
So then the second guy just completely stopped talking to me. So we were very friendly at work, and I thought we were friends. He asked me out. I said no, and then he just completely stopped talking to me.
Hurricane Schwartz quit talking to you?
Oh my God!
He actually was so nice to me.
Kathy just pulled the elastic bow tie back and snapped.
No, but I did. Wait.
Ow!
No, forever. I will forever remember this one time I had to help him tie his bow tie because he couldn't get it done.
But the second guy you said you were about to say?
First, the one guy, I forget how he asked me out. He may have even sent an email. The other guy, Steve, blocked my car in the parking lot.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't back up. He pulled his car. So I was leaving work. I was in reverse. And he was came over, parked behind me. So I couldn't leave.
And then got out in proposition.
He literally trapped me in my spot. And I on the spot said no.
Right.
And it was because I was I don't want to
Yeah.
No,
if he said instead of responding to him, you just should have leaned on the horn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Danger.
Oh my gosh. And then remember the other one. There was another guy who left roses on my car. I've told you guys this story before. He was super nice. I think we had him on the show years ago. I can't remember the reason we had him on, but he left roses in a box on my car. And Channel 10 was like, there's a box on your car. We don't know what's in it. We're calling the bomb squad in. And they had to have somebody come and investigate the box on my car. And they were like,
the guy must have been livid.
They were like, well, he didn't. He all knew this was going down. I think he got embarrassed.
Oh.
And so he didn't say anything. And and the police came in and they were like, it's from a florist in Aston. And I was like, Aston? I'm like, who's from it? Of course, now we're all asking throughout the office or whatever. And we eventually figured it out.
I was a flower lever. I did that a few times. Yeah.
Oh, you're so romantic.
It worked though.
Yeah.
Once. Let me go to Laura here. Hi, Laura. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, Laura. What's up?
Oh, I just thought it was funny. I got in my car to go to work, and I heard you guys talking about, do you ever give Valentines to your coworkers? And I'm like, oh, shoot, I have a whole bag of Valentines to give to my coworkers right now.
I think if you're doing it like the way we mentioned it, Laura, earlier, the way Sarah Parker would do it, which is it's a nice little thing.
Yeah, leave it for everybody.
Little card or and that's sort of nice. I think that's a sweet gesture.
Yeah.
It's when you block someone's car and that it becomes creepy.
Yeah.
And it's also part of your personality. So I want to ask Laura, what character is on your Valentine's Day cards?
Puppies and kittens.
There you go.
Cute.
I think that's sweet. I think you're going to make it nice at the office today.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think I'm going to park in front of my favorite Valentine and see what happens.
To block them in.
Have you done this before at this workplace?
No, I haven't. This is my first time.
Oh, awesome. They'll love it.
I think
they'll love it.
Yes. Or they don't know what they have if they're not. Yeah.
Thank you, Laura.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Bye.
Here's a text from somebody speaking about getting hit on. And I'm happy for this guy. He says, I got hit on for the first time ever this weekend.
Wow.
And it was great as a guy. So good for you.
Nice.
That does feel nice.
Yeah.
Whether you're interested or not, for a guy, I think. Anyway, if you're let me rephrase all this. If you're a fairly average guy, if you're a super good looking guy, you get it all the time. I'm sure. And it can be
like Hurricane Schwartz.
Come on. I mean, the man had a bow tie. But if you're a fairly average person, you get hit on by a woman, proposition or whatever, it's awesome, whether you're interested or not.
Well, because still the onus, as many, centuries as we've been around, the onus is still pretty much on the guy to be the one who's inquiring. Mm-hmm. So when it becomes the other way, it is kind of cool.
Yeah. And I was thinking, unless you're thinking, God, why do the ugly ones always hit on me?
That's what I like. I was there. I was putting some ointment on my suction cup.
Oh, my God.
Dude, even the ugly ones, you'll take it.
It's nice.
I
agree.
Because I
they
live in
work
that
harder.
world. Yeah. There's no one uglier. So
They put in the effort, Kev.
They'll bang you right in half.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Wow.
When I think Preston and I have similar history when it comes to being hit on and the frequency of it. And so when it would happen, you're just like,
oh yeah,
it's surprising, and you're just like, I don't know how to react to this, and then you're like, oh wait, no, I can actually take advantage of this situation.
I want to put a baby in your neck.
Whatever you need, baby.
There's a
come
scene,
on over.
There's a scene in the movie Road Trip where they need extra money, so they go to donate sperm, and then they're filling out the form, and you can't do it if you've had sex within the last 24 hours. And what's his name? The skinny guy,
DJ Qualls.
DJ Qualls He goes, well, I'm out because I had sex last night with a girl. That's what it's like getting hit on by someone. You're like, yep. Still got
and it's almost like you're joking, right?
Right.
Is that right? Yeah.
I just thought of this. I should have brought you guys a Valentine's Day gift, but I didn't. I got up early this morning and went to Dunkin' and got Jace heart donuts. I should have gotten for everybody and brought them in, but I forgot. Sorry.
You had enough time before work to go do that this morning?
I mean, not really. Did you see me running in like a lunatic? But I did.
You hang the carpets outside and beat them, and then you come to work.
Yeah.
Here is a text from somebody that says, you have to really like your coworkers to give them Valentines. I think it would be pretty odd in most cases. For context, I'm mid-20s. People my age generally stick to business at work and look for love elsewhere.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, it's probably a safer bet, but sometimes.
And HR, with all this stuff these days, and I mean, the sensitivity, I was wondering if it was, because I remember it would be of the most benign standard. It's just where we are. You don't do it in the middle of a business conference, obviously.
Well, the long running axiom is, don't dip your pen in the company ink.
Right.
Don't get your bread from the same place don't get your meat from the same place you get your bread, all that stuff.
Don't get your bris from your butcher.
Never do that.
Well, and there's a lot of places where you're not allowed. I mean, it's written that's part of it. You can't date
no
coworkers.
fraternizing.
Yeah. So if it does happen, people are hiding it.
Yep.
And people will have to go to like HR. Watching, what is that, the morning show. When people are having this, this inter-office romance.
They have to acknowledge it professionally.
Yeah.
Oh, they have to. So if you get into a consensual relationship with someone else at work, it is beholden to you to go to HR and say, by the way, we're in a relationship.
I did that once.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Especially if one person, quote unquote, outranks the other person, because then you can you really put that other person in a disadvantage in the work environment, and then like if they were to break up at any point, like it can get really messy.
Yeah, well, we've seen that here a couple times.
Oh yeah,
a few people that broke up and it got weird in the hallways.
Who broke up?
A few different people.
Oh, right.
I'll tell you in a little bit. Hang on a second. Let me go to.
It was Kyle.
Bruce. Hey,
Kyle and
Bill. Good morning. What's up, bud?
And two funny stories. Like one was last week, gal getting out of the car. Man, if I hit the lottery, I'm going to look you up.
Really? Was it just a passing comment, or do you think there was real intent there?
Yeah.
There was real intent there. Okay.
Wow.
All right. So you're an Uber driver?
Yeah.
And you get those from time to time? People ladies that'll fire on you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of funny. The second funniest one is though, I go to a hospital. I won't name it. And I pick up Judy. And Judy gets in the car. I don't think we got 30 feet. She goes, "You have nice eyes. You want to see my apartment?"
Wow.
Did you see it?
I said, "No, Judy, I'm not."
No, Judy.
Sorry, Jude.
But I'll sign your colostomy bag.
But here we go. I said, "Judy, what are you doing at the ER?" She goes, "Oh, I needed some psych meds."
Oh yeah,
Well,
Judy,
then,
I'm gonna
let me
pass.
see your apartment. Let's see what's going on.
Hey,
up there.
Bruce, on a completely different note, are you a part of this strike that's taking place today at Philadelphia International Airport, some of the Uber drivers?
No, I had no idea about it until I heard Kathy.
Okay, because, I'd read a couple other stories that said that it's really not going to impact much. So
It did say that in the story that Uber and Lyft commented and said, we don't really think this is going to impact anything.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Bruce. Appreciate it, brother. All right, we'll see you.
It's the worst kind of strike that no one knows is going on.
Right? Yeah.
That the people in the industry don't know about.
Hi, Tim. You're on the air, buddy.
Hey guys, I love your show. Good to hear from you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. What's your story, man?
Yeah, I just wanted to give some perspective as like a mid-20s person in the workplace. I don't really think that the whole workplace romance thing is a thing for us as much as it was maybe for other generations.
Probably not. Many other options nowadays via, digital platforms and stuff like that for you to you don't necessarily have to just, like, we were a little more limited in where we had to look.
For me, and I'm older, my social sphere was who was going on the hunting party with me.
Right.
And who would I meet? And everyone was wearing loincloths, so you knew who you liked and who you didn't like.
Yeah.
No, you're probably right. And you think, Tim, a lot of it has to do just with the perceived liability of crossing over into HR territory.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
It seems like there's a lot that can go wrong, more so that can go right in that situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's very astute.
And that's got to suck when if you have a connection and you and this other person feel the same connection and you can't do anything with it. You know what I mean? And
can you do it through puppets?
Yeah, but that's what I want to say about, like, with Kathy getting asked out by somebody. Like, just because somebody's good looking and you're attracted to that person doesn't necessarily give you the right. Like, if you're working with them, then you have a relationship, and you're going to have these these moments,
these encounters, where your hands touch at the copying machine,
where maybe you feel like your feelings for this person is reciprocated, and then you can ask out. But, like, just because you think somebody's hot doesn't give you the
but if you stop and think about what cultivates the things that go into you being attracted and perhaps wanting to pursue a relationship, that may be part of it. There's something more you can. It just showed you hot. I thought of banging. It's not. I agree with what you're saying, but you think about the things that it's just difficult a lot of times, especially like for what Tim is saying. Tim, do you spend a lot of time at work?
Not a ton of time. I mean, I spend the time that I need to spend at work, and then I go home, and I think that's what a lot of people do. My age as well. They keep work at work, and they do personal stuff in the rest of their lives.
Right. It was probably the right. I mean, I was definitely, I would work a lot, and so that was where I was meeting most of the people.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it, bud. Kyle, if I hold a note with someone's name on it, don't put it on the stream, please. Thank you.
Okay.
Put like a heart up right now.
Yeah, hold like a heart up. Yeah.
It went over?
I don't know. Anyway.
I thought you were holding another one.
I did get a hold of another one.
So did I. I thought it was going to be another
Casey's
one.
holding up a full list of toilet paper.
Those are all the people you bang?
With names on it.
A lot of interesting names.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Lance on here.
Lance?
People don't name their kids Lance anymore, but back in medieval times, they would name them Lance a lot. Boom! Yes!
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Happy Valentine's Day.
I did not.
No,
you
I like
did
it.
not give
You
any
didn't do
tells.
it.
Thank you.
You did better.
Thank you.
There was no physical tell
I didn't see it at all.
that he was going to throw a dad joke in there.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you to whoever named their kid Lance. Because I've been sitting on that one for like 2 months.
And you're going to be sitting on it a little bit, yeah.
All right. We have some more time to spend. So
Can I tell you what happened to your chocolate covered strawberries real quick?
I
Oh,
wanna
yes.
hear.
Thank you. Casey, I was going to do something else, but yes, Casey said, so he picked up chocolate covered strawberries for me. It's the only thing that Rochelle wanted for Valentine's Day. And there's a place that makes the best ones I've ever had, 320 Market, and Casey lives out that way, so I asked him to grab some for me.
Yeah, and they were great. 320 Market has the best strawberries, their pico, and their pico sauce is awesome, and they have pizza there now as well. So I went there and I picked up a dozen chocolate-covered pretzels for you. I keep saying pretzels. Strawberries for you. I picked up a dozen for myself, and then I got. There was a little bit of a misunderstanding. I was trying to get a half dozen for each of you guys. So Nick, Kathy, Steve, and Marissa.
Oh, sweet of you.
I know, but she misunderstood and gave me just a half a dozen individually wrapped ones.
Okay.
But it ended up working out for me. I get a text from my daughter yesterday saying, hey, are we allowed to eat these chocolate-covered strawberries? I said, yes, only one package. The other platter is for Preston. And then she says, which one should we take? And I'm like, they're identical. Just pick one and stick to that one. And I said, you can have strawberries from one of the platters. And I was very, very specific. So last night, as I'm getting ready to head out to the Galentine's Day mixer, I open up our refrigerator.
Oh, no.
To grab a Red Bull. And one platter of strawberries is completely gone.
Oh, no.
Okay. And then the other platter.
So the empty platter is sitting in there?
Dude, not only that, Steve. I live with a bunch of savages. Yeah. Okay. The one platter that is completely gone. Well, it's not totally empty. All of the stems are sitting on there.
Yes.
So somebody like sat in front of the refrigerator and right in front of the Cookie Monster.
Do you know who it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seamus.
Is it Seamus?
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, in Seamus's defense, the girls ate the other platter, right? So
he ate one whole platter?
So he ate half of Preston's platter.
He half a dozen chocolate strawberries.
Look at
Somebody. So 18 chocolate-covered strawberries went missing from the time when and so they were all home from school yesterday. So I got this text message at 11:25. At like 4:30, they were all gone. So I'm sitting and I wasn't even looking for the strawberries. Had I not seen what I saw,
They would have all been gone.
They might have all been gone because the note never got to Seamus. That there's, and I'm like, well, dude, I'm saying this to him last night as I'm about to go to bed. I'm like maybe you should text me and say, hey, can I have any of these strawberries? Because it is Valentine's Day. There were 2 platters there.
It would be logical to assume that it might be for someone.
I live with 4 females.
Yeah.
You don't think that maybe I got these chocolate-covered pretzels for my wife, your sisters, or my mother?
Strawberries.
I keep saying strawberries.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you. Just don't even correct me anymore. We all know that I'm talking about strawberries, all right?
Oh, my God, that's so funny.
Dude, I was livid. Because I'm trying to walk out the door.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to work. I didn't know that the roads weren't going to be very, crowded or whatever. But I'm like, you mother effers. I'm yelling. And my daughters aren't even there anymore. They went to their play rehearsal. So now I'm like Grandpa Simpson, screaming at the clouds. I'm like, you're out, you mother effers. And then at one point I'm in the garage and I yell it and I hear my cursing echo off of my neighbor's house and come back. I'm like, okay, maybe I should calm down a little bit. But thankfully and luckily, we had those extra strawberries.
The ones that were individually
wrapped.
All right, so you consolidated those.
I consolidated that, and Preston got what he had asked for. But
what about you?
I didn't get any.
That's what I'm saying.
My wife didn't get any.
Oh my God, they ate.
Do you want some of mine?
No. But
oh man.
And then I sent the text to the family because I couldn't just curse to myself. I actually had to
dear family.
I had to let these guys know. I said, do not eat any more chocolate-covered strawberries. You a-holes started eating Preston strawberries. I was very clear about that. Only one of those trays was for us. I am effing livid.
But you were clear about that to only one child, right?
I know. She really should have said something to the other kids. You know what I mean? I don't know.
She's the weak link in this? Is she?
No, she's the good one.
Yeah.
Right? I always say that. But Casey, she's the rule follower.
Yeah.
But it probably
You
think they were all there together, crowded around
No.
so she probably didn't see them to say, hey, don't eat that tray.
And is the onus on her to forward that?
The onus is on any of those guys
to ask first.
First.
Yeah.
It's just as simple as that.
When you see something in the fridge like that, something that could be for a presentation.
Yeah.
But the fact that they leave the stems on the tray in the fridge.
Dude, listen, I mean, living with these savages is the worst. They left the half-eaten chocolate-covered strawberries on the tray. The lids,
in case someone wants them.
The lids were completely off, just kind of hanging in the back of the refrigerator. I mean, that's just what they do.
You keep saying they, but is it just he?
No, they're all.
Oh, they're all guilty.
Listen, he's the one who went to town on the tray that hadn't been touched, right? But if maybe the other two didn't gobble down a dozen chocolate covered, and they're not small strawberries either. These things are gigantic.
Hold them up again.
You eat, I don't have them in here. You eat like 3 of them and you're stuffed.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
No,
big.
you're not. No, you can eat 18 of them and you'll be totally fine.
Wait, did Diane or your mom get any?
No.
So was just the kids.
It was just the kids. And then, not for nothing, but I had also gone to the store and gotten each of them their individual Valentine's Day boxes of chocolates and stuff like that. And I thought about just for a second.
You should have eaten some of them.
Giving the Kit Kats to you guys.
They're on the camera right now.
Yeah, Marissa brought these in. I'll take one out because you got to see how big these things are. Yeah, I mean, dear God, look at this.
It's gigantic.
18
Between
of
3
those?
kids.
I mean, that's got to be, 30 pounds of strawberry?
Yeah.
Wait, that is a lot.
That's a lot. And I'm really sorry, guys. I wanted to give you guys chocolate-covered strawberries, but my son
8 hours.
ate yours.
Thanks, Seamus.
So maybe he can pay you back. Maybe like he'll shovel your. No, he doesn't even shovel
our strawberries.
I got home yesterday. Like the driveway was full of snow. The garbage cans were like. I'm like, do you guys?
Yeah, listen. My kids are older than yours. Same thing. It
makes me feel better.
Gotten slightly better. It's gotten slightly better, but they still don't quite get it. That it's like I'm thinking about calling Kathy in.
No,
hold on. Okay, well here I'll give you. Here's a little advice. I think it's working, so it's not chores like that. But Jace, for whatever reason, when he comes home, he likes to take his shoes off. But he runs right upstairs when he gets home, and the shoes are left right outside of my bedroom door. Right, so and they will. So then the next morning, he'll go for his shoes, and he changes in his room, and so he'll grab another pair of his shoes from his closet.
Right.
So the other day there was three pairs of shoes had piled up, and I was like, "You got to put them away. You got to put them away. They got to go in your closet." He didn't do it. So I lined them up from my doorway, like as if they were walking down the hallway to his doorway. And he walks upstairs and I hear him. He's like, "What's going on with this?" And I was like, "Your shoes need to go in your closet."
Did he respond?
He did. Right. They've got put away.
I think it's a losing battle though, Casey, as far as trying to get your kids to be mindful and do things on their own without having to be prompted to do it. I think it's not until they go and live on their own and realize that they don't like a mess themselves that they're making. And it took me a while to figure that out, living on my own too. Like I used to leave my apartment horrible until like the dish, the sink would smell rotten.
Laundry doesn't do itself?
Yeah, exactly. And eventually, and it took me years and I figured it out. And so unfortunately, I think for most people that's the sad situation.
So my theory is that the youngest never actually learns. In my life, my youngest brother, my youngest cousin, like they all continued.
Because there are other people that are doing it.
Well, there was always people there. And now it's like they're in adult life and there aren't people there to do that. But I mean, I learned quickly and I remember, but growing up too, like I always did my own wash because my mom either shrunk my stuff or turned the whites pink. So I was like, "You're done. I'll do my own wash. Thank you."
Yeah. It's like a control thing.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. And it was because I got tired of like having to wait for my mom to do the laundry because my brothers, were filthier than I was.
And yet you didn't teach yourself how to cook decently.
Well, neither did her mom.
I thought out of necessity she would teach herself.
And my Italian grandmother died when I was 4. So
man, I shrunk your blouse. It's the one that anchor man you're dating loves.
Hurricane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyhow, well, I'd like to switch gears for just a couple of minutes. I think we're not going to do Just Saying Institute, Casey.
Okay.
Survey says
we're doing the satellite.
We have not done this in a long time. We haven't done what?
The satellite school.
The satellite school of the Just Saying Institute. But we haven't done Survey Says in a while, and I have a few surveys that I've stumbled across that I think might be worth highlighting some various subjects and things. So as soon as I get my music out, we'll get it underway. Let's go with this one. Survey says, how concerned were you personally about the potential impacts of the Y2K problem?
This is one of those surveys. By the way, these are surveys that a lot of times will get sent what they call topic starters and things that are suggested for material on the show, and various services or whatever.
And some of them are stupid.
And some this is incredibly stupid. But yet, I'm intrigued by this.
Were you at all concerned, Steve? Because I was for about a day.
I knew a guy whose occupation shifted. He was at the last in the half a year leading up to the moment, recalibrating some computer systems. But he was like, "It's going to be fine."
Like Office Space,
basically. Yeah, basically, yeah. Exactly.
I threw a party for that year from 1999 into 2000. I invited everybody that I knew, and it was a great party. And we had it at a hotel and rented out the place, and it was black tie affair. And I have a very vivid memory, and I'll recreate it for you guys real quick. 12:01, the banner comes down and the ball drops and everybody's having a great time. And my friend Brian Vendig is off in the corner. He just starts yelling, "The world is still here!" What? And I was just like, I have video of it somewhere. And he was just celebrating the fact that we hadn't blown up.
There were people who were terrified.
Sure.
Yeah. Terrified of a global collapse. I was a fan of the series Millennium, which is basically about not that specifically, but there are a lot of things, whether they be biblical. But the main thing is that it's simply based on the
computers.
The built-in clocks in computers weren't going to accommodate 2,000, right?
I remember being concerned. I wasn't worried, but I remember waiting, being like, okay, what's going to happen? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
And we were looking forward to it. Nick also, not looking forward to it, but, looking forward to seeing what was going to happen. And Nick, we also had a party, and I remember I made the DJ play 1999 like a million times. I was in the bathroom the one time. I was like, I missed it. You have to play it again. He was like, okay.
And that's when Larry Menti turned. She said, we got to leave it.
But there was conjecture that the power grid was going to fail, or that the nuclear missiles were going to launch automatically, and it was really it was fear mongering to some extent.
There were some aspects that were actually legit, but I mean, nothing that obviously, as history has borne out, was not adjustable.
So the question asked was, how concerned were you personally with potential impacts of Y2K? Very concerned, somewhat concerned, not very concerned, not at all concerned.
Not very concerned.
Not very concerned. Yeah, I was the same way.
Well, it'll be K Sarah.
So the most answered question, or the most given answer, was not very concerned at 35%.
Second was Moses didn't have an ark.
No.
They didn't get the question right.
28% not all concerned, 25% somewhat concerned, and 7% very concerned. I do remember at Y100, we recorded something and pretended like we were all in the studio doing this big countdown. And then right at midnight, we played a sound effect of white noise. Yeah. And then we stopped and we're like, we're just kidding. It was actually
the New World Order.
It was kind of fun. So hang on a second. Let me go to, real quick, Eric actually has a Y2K opinion here. Hi, Eric. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. You guys rock.
Thank you, buddy. What's up?
Hey, so I was 18 in 1999. I wasn't concerned about it. I grew up on a farm in Lancaster County. Our neighbors, however, were kind of crazy. They had about 2 acres, turned everything into a garden, they actually installed a root cellar into the hill out back, concrete root cellar, and started canning everything.
So they were like survivalist preppers.
Yeah.
Like 3 propane tanks. They installed a coal cook stove in the basement.
Wow.
The funny thing is, here about 2 years ago, that house went up for auction. I still have family on that farm, so I ended up buying this house 2 years ago.
Dude, I'd love a house that had if you had hidden rooms and subterranean stuff.
They still had the canning stuff from 1999. The cans, the jars that they canned in the root cellar, in the back corner. Like the lids were rusted off. It was just open cans.
Wow.
22 years later, it was still in there. We threw away hundreds of jars of rotten tomato sauce.
No kidding.
I guess that's the plan in the dystopian world, is you make a lot of spaghetti.
Yeah.
Something.
Was any of it edible?
No, the lids were gone. I mean, it was open to the elements for probably 10, 15 years.
There were some raccoons learned Italian cooking.
I almost hurled so many times cleaning that thing out.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Jesus.
Thanks, Eric.
That's pretty
Appreciate
funny.
it, man.
Take care.
That's interesting. All right. Another survey. Survey says, of 5,109 adults, they asked the question, what is the coldest temperature in Fahrenheit in which you'd be willing to attend an outdoor professional sports event?
That's a good question.
When would it be too cold? And let's say it's one you really want to go to.
Yeah, I've been to a few of
Eagles games?
Yeah, Eagles games. I feel like the NFC Championship against the one that we lost against the Buccaneers was pretty cold, but I feel like the one against the Falcons was even colder.
There's a couple of caveats to this here. So are we? Is it a day game? Is it a night game? Is it, for example, I remember when we were for the Super Bowl, for the Eagles Super Bowl victory party. The parade.
Yeah.
It was like 23 degrees, 24 degrees. The sun was out. I didn't feel cold at all.
Sun was out.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
It was awesome.
I've been to 2 winter classics. I went to the one at the ballpark against the Rangers, right, in 2012 or 13. And then I went to one in D.C. at the Nationals ballpark. And Steve, it was so funny because we sat at the beginning of the game in the sun, and it was great.
Yeah.
And then the second half of the game, the shadows came in, and we were because I was there with my friend Chris, and we're sitting in the outfield, and it became miserable. We didn't stick around for the end of it because it was too damn cold.
Give me a patch of sun. Doesn't matter what the temperature is.
Yeah.
I'm good to go. And then so with thermal stuff and all that, I'm pretty good. But after a while, it starts to permeate.
Yeah.
So I don't really. The stadium thing in the winter, no, it's not my thing.
As long as there's no precipitation, I'm okay with the cold, right?
All right, 30 degrees?
30, that's fine.
All right, 25, 20?
I'll say...
It's asking you to put a limit
Would
on
you do 20 for a game you really want to see?
I think I would do 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't Bill go to one of those Buffalo Bill games last year or the year before in the playoffs, and like they had those heat lamps? Yeah.
Marissa?
I just looked up the game weather for December 31st. Eagles week 17. It was the 17-18 Super Bowl season. It was 19 degrees. But the worst part was the game meant nothing because we were already in the playoffs.
It was against the Raiders. No. That was a Christmas Eve game or the Christmas.
I went to that one.
Yeah, that one was freezing.
This one was the Cowboys.
Okay.
I was with, so when Matt and I first started dating, so I was with Matt and two other friends, and we were in Xfinity Live, clothes, like so many jackets and layers ready, and I turned to my friends, I was like, all right, guys, game time, let's go. And my friend Rob and Matt looked and were like, hell no, we're not going out there. Right. And so Rob's girlfriend at the time, Kate, and I went over, we bought beers, and when you opened them, the beer immediately froze.
Oh, yeah.
Like it froze coming out of the can. It was so cold. Yeah. We stayed for a quarter, and then we were like, all right, this is stupid.
No matter, when you're not moving, and again, like when we do the, Jack Frost, when we do the Cardboard Classic there, and we were not on something elevated and standing on the permafrost.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't care how warm you are, it will make its way into your bones.
Yeah. Marissa, I remember being at like Cardboard Classic and have my beer freezing in my hand. It's such a weird sensation.
Yeah.
There were some really cold Cardboard Classics.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
In the past.
Especially at the top of the hill.
I was just about to say the F word, but the nor'easter, for Christ's sake. Yeah. I mean, whiteout conditions. It was horrible.
My temperature would be about 50 degrees.
50 degrees. Yeah. So here's how it breaks down from the people who had answered it. The highest answer was 23% at I would never be willing to attend. 17% said 50 degrees. 9 said between 41 and 50. 11% said between 31 and 40 and 21 and 30. And then 9%. Basically, most people don't want to unless it's 50 degrees or more. I will play golf in the dead of winter. I have actually had to use a hammer to nail my tee into the tee box.
Because
the ground is frozen. But that's usually been a milder day after a series of really, really cold days.
So 50, 45?
Yeah, definitely. 45. Anything below that, then you're starting to get a little too cold. But if it's 45 and above, I'm game anytime.
Okay.
Yep.
By the way, that Eagles-Falcons game was on January 23rd, 2005, and it was the weather was 19 degrees with a wind chill of 2.
Woo!
And I remember
get it for Christ. It's
not only that, Steve, but that's 3 hours of the game.
Yeah.
There's also a whole tailgate that happens before that.
No.
So you're outside for quite a while.
Okay. All right, let's go somewhere else. Survey says
a little dipsy-doo.
A little dipsy-doo.
Oh, it was his birthday yesterday.
Oh, no.
I didn't realize it until this morning, but happy belated birthday to Todd Fedorky. Great guy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Worldly known good guy.
The fridge. Hit it one more time for him, Case. If you would, please.
A little dipsy-doo. Happy birthday.
All right, so when it comes to air travel, there were over 9,000 U.S. adults were surveyed. How important is it for you to know the model of airliner you'll be flying
in? Oh my God,
in?
I've never once known.
Well, if it's a 737 MAX,
right?
Like over the last
year, you may want to be aware, and certainly if you have a door seat.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, believe it or not, I used to geek out on the actual model of airplane that we were flying on. Was it a 727, a 730, whatever it was?
DC-10.
Yeah, the L-1011s and stuff like that. I used to know the models of regular, what's the word?
Aircraft.
But
commercial aircraft.
Commercial aircraft. So I used to know that. I don't know them that well anymore.
My dad was in every the Delta Million Mile Club or whatever. He flew so much. We were living in New York, but he was working in Dallas, so he was flying back and forth constantly, and he accrued all those miles. He was one of those people, Preston, what kind of aircraft. Oh, they got this and they got this kind of, and he geeked out for that.
I never know what I'm flying in. The only time I ever looked it up was I was going to Europe, and it was kind of when we were just starting to see more planes with TVs and stuff like that.
Right.
And I wanted to know if I needed to prepare myself with, headphones and iPad and all of that, or if it was going to be on the plane. That was the only time I ever looked it up.
Is this an actual plane or is it a luggage plane?
I was 14 or 15, and I think it was the first time, but I got to fly on a 747, and it was to France, and so we flew from Philly to JFK, mostly empty from Philly to JFK, and then picked up the rest of the passengers there, and then JFK to Charles de Gaulle Airport. But Steve, what I remember the most, or one of the things I remember the most, is that little circular staircase in the middle to get to the top of the 747.
747 is so cool.
The business person's lounge.
That's where the terrorists sit in Die Hard 2.
That's right. Yeah. Yes.
You know what? I remember my first flight. My father took my brother and I on our first flight to. He was working in Boston, so it took us on a short flight, and we stayed with my dad in the hotel, and it was a kind of a treat, for us. But again, I'm older. It was a commercial prop. Commuter. Okay. And super loud, but it was very cool. Out on the tarmac, Nick, going up the steps. The whole thing is right out of a classic. The beginning of The Godfather.
It's memorable.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest plane I've ever been on was when we went to London. Do you guys recall which kind of plane that was?
It was an Airbus, I believe.
Yeah, huge.
It was British Airways.
Yeah,
I do know that. So
I've been on prop planes from Miami to Key West sometimes, where they have to
puddle jumpers.
Yeah, and they literally have to move people around inside the plane based on weight.
Yeah. They're actually. I forget what airline announced that they were going to be doing that again, which is for weight distribution. I wonder if it's just in light of all these recent issues concerning the 737 and all that stuff.
So according to this survey, the questions asked about, what type of aircraft you're flying in, the answers were very important, somewhat important, not very important, not important at all, I don't know, and then don't know.
I'm interested, but I'm not. It won't. It's
Oddly enough, 21%, which is fairly high, said very important. 27% said somewhat important. 19% said not very important. 17% not important at all. I assume this was after the 737 MAX stuff was happening.
So probably that said.
And at that point, you'd want to know if 2 or 3 planes crash that are the same type.
Yes,
you don't want to fly on it.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people who said, and that's a big issue.
When we've talked about this before, but when I win the lottery, I want to do the crazy rich Asians first class suite or whatever that is. I don't know what kind of plane that is. That's probably one of the double-decker Airbuses or whatever. But,
literally like a suite, a full bed.
I want to lay down. Amazing. I just want to lay down.
So, Case, when we went on the trip for my wife and I did that cruise and we flew over. It wasn't that, but now the pods allow you to be so recumbent that you are essentially sleeping, in a bed.
All right, so another survey. All right, and like we said, these are really dumb survey questions.
Like Y2K.
In a survey of 1,000 U.S. adults, do you have a favorable view of Leonardo da Vinci?
Da Vinci.
That's DiCaprio.
I thought you were going to go DiCaprio, and I do. I did not initially with growing pains, but when Da Vinci appeared, who's not into Da Vinci?
I know.
You got to be a stark raving lunatic.
Yeah.
Who's more fascinating?
Very favorable, somewhat favorable, neither favorable nor unfavorable, sometimes unfavorable, very unfavorable.
Who did he piss off?
Very favorable.
Yeah, very favorable. He's
he was a genius.
A genius the likes of which we may never see again.
Yeah, artist and inventor. I mean, come on.
He drew the anatomy of the human body.
Yeah.
Designed.
What's that called? The what man?
Green Man.
Not the Green Man. That's from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Dayman.
Not Dayman. That's
he's the master of the night man.
Look that up if you would, please, Nick. It's called the
Invisible Man.
The something man, not the Invisible Man.
The Everyman.
Yeah. Can't find a better man.
Which, by the way, a Pearl Jam 10 weekend coming up this weekend. I know
Vitruvian Man.
Vitruvian Man.
Vitruvian.
Yeah, you can see his Vitruvian right above his nuts.
Yeah.
What's the point of Vitruvian Man?
It's just a way to take up more letters.
The dimensions of the human weren't ever properly drawn out before. So
by the way, he could write it both forward and backwards.
Right, at the same time.
His abilities are
simultaneously,
astonishing.
with each hand. No, but it was the Vitruvian Man. It was like I guess he realized nobody's ever done this before. It's like Kinsey when he wrote the sex book. It's like nobody's really researched this before. And
it was Da Vinci that invented the chocolate-covered strawberry.
I would not doubt it.
His long-standing challenge to mankind was to eat 18 in one sitting.
He had all kinds of prototype mock-ups of things like helicopters. And aircraft way before people started taking that type of thing seriously.
What is the is it Close Encounters where they're talking about no, they're talking about Einstein, but basically they make a reference like there's long been the notion possibly forwarded that Da Vinci might have been from another planet. That an intellect, a capability so staggering that it was not linear to mankind at that point.
By the way, I saw a pretty cool list, and we're not going to go through it now. Speaking of inventors, and you can go on Wikipedia. It's the list of inventors who were killed by their inventions.
Their own inventions.
Oh
it's
my gosh.
interesting.
Da Vinci invented an epoxy, Preston, that could turn a screen door into a speedboat.
Shut up, dude. And by the way, it's not a screen door. It's they cut the boat in half and then they put it back together.
No. There's one where they do a screen door.
Yeah, but
yes.
this one.
Yes.
This one is the cut in half one. Okay. Hang on. Did Da Vinci have any blemishes in his?
He had one wart.
Just one.
Yeah.
Hey, that's not bad for that time. What was it? The 1400s?
No, there was no nothing that I think is. He was looked upon by perhaps some in the religious community.
By blemishes, you mean things that he invented?
Controversies.
That weren't, no, I mean, I was curious what you mean by that.
He invented the 737.
Yeah, no, more so controversies. I mean, when you peel back.
He dated Carmen Electra.
Okay.
Well, no, Steve's right. Religious heads didn't appreciate what he was doing because maybe he was kind of going against what we thought were biblical things, and these might have been scientific things, and he wanted to say, take a look at this.
I mean, I know Galileo caught a bit of it. I'm not sure, but then there were also
That's a good question.
There were also people who were religious who were also making innovations. But I would assume at that time, I've never heard of anything. I know he was photographed once with a Kardashian, but no. I mean, does anybody remember a Da Vinci thing?
Just a quick little research. It says little is known about his personal life and his intimate relationships. I mean, if you dive into like Michelangelo's sexuality and his relationship with the church and all that stuff is fascinating. And, Michelangelo was a gay man dealing with a very strict Catholic church at the time. But he probably had affairs with people within the church. If you dive into Da Vinci's personal life,
it's a little more interesting.
Michelangelo, you know a lot about him.
Yeah.
Life's work.
You know what it smells like in the Sistine Chapel?
Him and the Pope. Sexual orientation. That's from Good Will Hunting, by the way.
Michelangelo also invented pickleball.
Oh my God.
So were Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael, and Leonardo, were they all contemporaries? Were they all around at the same time?
Oh,
interesting question.
I think Raphael's earlier.
I mean, we all know that the turtles all lived at the same time, but I'm talking about the actual people.
The actual people they were named after. I don't really know. Here's another question. By the way, 44%, I'll give you the other question in a second. 44% said very favorable. They think of Leonardo.
Of course.
30% somewhat favorable, 15% neither favorable nor unfavorable, and then just a scant few were unfavorable.
They probably thought it was somebody from ZZ Top.
All right, now, do you have a favorable view of Charles Darwin?
Yes.
Is the next question.
Yeah, I saw he's buried in
Westminster?
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay. The same question. Do you have a favorable or unfavorable view of Charles Darwin?
I'm going to say yes. Favorable.
He's a little more controversial with the church specifically because of evolution.
And also what he was the first one to draw a correlation between the Ninja Turtles.
We do have an answer to that, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to read that, press up there.
3 of the 4, Leonardo, Raphael, and Michelangelo, were all alive at roughly the same time, although Da Vinci was a teenager when Donatello died.
What would teenager Da Vinci be like? Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Not only would that empty strawberry platter be out of the refrigerator,
right.
He would have devised a device to automatically take it out
What about all those geniuses? What would Newton? What was he like as a teenager growing up? They all had to. Their genius was unparalleled.
And yet his brother Fig was a raving moron.
Dude, shut up, Fig Newton.
Yeah, no. Did any of these geniuses light a dumpster on fire accidentally?
Right,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, but I was.
What did you do?
But I was also thinking like Sheldon. Maybe were they leaning towards autism and or Asperger's and have these
this is quite possible,
not able to socially interact as others did,
or was it a point where they were kind of just bloomed and took off and running like Phenomenon, that movie?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hump me, Big Sheldon. Ride me, Big Sheldon.
Oh Jesus, you do not have greatest sex with Sheldon.
I don't know what you guys are.
That's when Harry Met Sally.
Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, as long as we're doing movie quotes.
Sheldon.
Yeah.
So anyhow, 27% have a favorable view of Charles Darwin, 25% somewhat favorable.
Regardless, the
21 neither favorable nor
the research is amazing.
It is.
Whatever you decide. But
Steve, did your wife go to the Galapagos?
Yes, she did.
Yeah, and Darwin essentially put those on the map.
Yeah, he
on the map.
invented.
He invented the Galapagos.
He opened the first. It was Little Caesars.
Pizza.
In the Galapagos.
I mean, it was brilliant. You get two pieces for the price of one.
No, it's Mitza.
One last call, and then we got to take a break. I'm going to go to Tony. Hi, Tony. Good morning.
Good morning. Guys, you are hitting me in the field. Leonardo and Charles Darwin you're talking about.
There you go.
Yeah, totally.
But I wanted to pass on. I just found this out yesterday from my favorite television website. In November 18th and 19th, Ken Burns, his first non-American subject, is going to be a 2-part documentary on Leonardo da Vinci.
Wow. I would almost think you'd need more, but Ken Burns is that's his wheelhouse.
I think he mentioned that to us last time we talked to him, that was another.
And he was playing baseball
down the road. Yeah, of course. Big fan.
Two 2-hour episodes.
Brilliant.
Wow. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Nobody does it better than Ken Burns. Awesome. Thank you, Tony.
You're very welcome, guys.
See you, bud. Bye-bye. All right, so. All right, anyhow. Well, this has been Survey Says. We got through some good, stupid stuff.
Absolutely. I think we solved a lot of issues that concern people.
You want me to do this now?
No, just remind people that we're going to be doing it very shortly.
A little bit more time for you to text word secret to get in on the secret text word. All right, secret to 39333 because we are going to give away in a little bit 4-pack of tickets for the advanced screening of Dune Part 2. Neshaminy AMC is where that's going to be on the 26th. So get on that now. We'll do the bizarre file when we return, then we'll get a winner for that. Stay with us.
From 93.3 WMMR.
Sweet mystery of life at last I found thee.
Valentine's Day. I thought we should play that. At least once.
At last the secret of it all.
Is that Mary Alonzo, we determined, correct?
I don't remember. I'm sure you're right, though. Nothing like having a man screaming at the top of his lungs how much he loves you.
And he's at work right now.
Yeah. All right, let's, okay. All right, let us do the bizarre file.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Horizon Services. Horizon's licensed plumbers have same-day, 24/7 solutions. Plus, they're offering $50 off any repair. Schedule your visit today at horizonservices.com//WMMR. So this is pretty gnarly. A man died in the middle of a Lufthansa flight from Thailand to Germany after coughing up, quote, liters of blood.
Oh, liters of blood?
According to a fellow passenger, yeah.
Wow. You pretty much have tapped out all your blood at that point.
People were left screaming in horror as they watched the 63-year-old collapse to his death. It is understood that the traveler, who has not been named, boarded the plane in Bangkok visibly ill before his condition deteriorated dramatically while in the air.
You must have had the lasagna.
Karen Misfelder, who was also in the plane, said it was absolute horror. Everyone was screaming.
God.
She said that the man had got on with the cold sweats and was breathing much too quickly before people rushed to help him, taking his pulse and offering him some tea.
Did they explain what he had that caused him to expel liters of blood?
No, the passenger said the man lost liters of blood and the walls of the jet were also covered in red splatters.
Oh, God.
She said staff kept up their attempts for about half an hour, but it was clear the man could not be saved. His body was then carried into the galley of the plane as the captain announced death.
After putting up with that, I would have asked for a free beverage.
The plane is understood to have returned to Bangkok, where the passengers were rebooked on another flight. Ms. Midfielder said the worst thing was the man's wife had to go through customs alone. She said she just stood there all alone.
Could you imagine?
And had to endure all the formalities. Ugh, that's terrible, man. Yeah, maybe there'll be a follow-up to that and find out what had happened exactly.
What type of aircraft was it, Preston?
I'm not really
I'm just
sure.
curious.
All right, in Ohio, a dead cow near a privacy wall between Interstate 675 and a town center in Beaver Creek sat there all weekend and was finally removed on Monday.
It was wedged standing up?
No, it wasn't standing up, but it was just wedged in there. The large bovine fell off a trailer.
What an utter catastrophe.
Yeah. On Friday, causing traffic delays before law enforcement got it off the highway. The cow was badly injured from the fall and then had to be euthanized. The cow remained there all weekend. They just left it there. And they actually put a towing notice on it.
Tow your cow.
Before the owner had removed it around midday on Monday, but they stuck this like yellow sticker on it.
They should do that sign that says free cow.
Oh my God, yes. So while it is not uncommon for farm animals to get stuck or perish on major roadways in Ohio, it is more common in rural areas than major highways. The Ohio Department of Transportation said we've dealt with horses and cows. It's more common on a 2-lane route. And crews of law enforcement will usually clean up wild animals such as deer from roadways, but for domesticated or tagged animals, it's typical to let the owner of the animal handle it.
I just learned that cows have hooves because they lactose.
Hey, yes, I heard that one. You know who I heard that joke from, Casey? The guy who plays Reacher.
Really?
Yeah, he's telling that dad joke must be making the rounds.
Wow,
yeah.
okay.
And he told it, well, you told it better.
That's 2 in one day. All right.
I got nothing left.
Hey, dude.
I emptied the tank,
brother. A door-to-door salesman, this is messed up, was shot at by a homeowner in Fort Worth. The man who asked not to be identified is injured thanks to the tablet that stopped the bullet, so he wasn't killed. The salesman said, I'm just shook up. In his 10 years doing door-to-door sales for Reliant, he said that he's never had a day like Thursday and has the proof. He said he's showing the tablet and said that's where the bullet would have come out.
So it was like an Excedrin tablet?
No, it's like an iPad.
Like an iPad, of course. That makes more sense.
So he says that he was going door-to-door in an East Fort Worth neighborhood on Thursday morning around 11:30 a.m. asking homeowners about their electric bills. He knocked on the door and said he was met by a man with a gun. He said he just comes out and just straight pointed the barrel at me.
God.
And then he shot me and told me, get away from here, N-word.
Oh.
I'm lucky it didn't hit me. And I'm lucky it didn't hit me. It hit the tablet. And he said, he added that he usually wears the tablet by his side. The salesman got away, called police. Police said when we arrived at the location, nobody was inside the residence. Police say there is now an arrest warrant for the homeowner who could face aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and hate crime charges. A photo of the tablet taken by the salesman says it shows the hole in the tablet before the bullet was removed. He said, this is the one thing I always fear, getting shot at the door. Wow. And today it happened.
Wow.
That is horrible. So I'll see if there's a follow-up on them catching that idiot. In Florida, a mechanic for the Polk County School Board is facing DUI charges after deputies say he abandoned an airboat in front of the sheriff's substation on Sunday.
Just left an airboat there.
Yeah, so
I want an airboat so bad.
I know, it'd be cool. Yeah. A captain with the fire rescue called the sheriff's office because an airboat had fallen off a trailer being towed by a dark Ford F-150 in front of the county sheriff's office substation. The captain said the boat was blocking the road, and the driver of the F-150 appeared to be drunk before he drove away. When the boat's owner, Jonathan Whitesides, and another man returned to the scene to retrieve the boat, Whitesides began yelling at the other man, criticizing how he was attaching the boat to the trailer.
I'm a fan of airboats, Case.
So this is the guy that's helping him out, and he's yelling at him. A deputy at the scene told him to calm down, and that's when Whitesides became irate with the deputy. Whitesides took an aggressive stance toward the deputy, charged in his direction, pushed his chest out with his fist balled up, and started yelling in the deputy's face with his fist ball. I'm thinking of like the old school
Marcus of Queensberry?
Yeah, the old school boxer.
Yeah.
Pugilist.
Calm down, sir.
And they ignored the deputy's commands. Whiteside's eyes were bloodshot and watery. His speech was slurred, and he had some balance issues. Breath samples show that Whiteside's breath alcohol content was 0.334.
Wow.
That's a big one, dude.
Holy hell.
That's wasted. The sheriff said, I'm not sure how he was walking, let alone driving. He made some very poor decisions that night, and he lost his fan boat to boot. And there you go. Thank you, Connor, by the way. It's a great picture of the old style boxer. And that is what I have in the bizarre file. Kathy, we need a secret texter caller, please. Secret texter caller.
11.
All right, the 11th caller, 215-263 WMMR. If you know the secret text word and can tell us, we will set you up with the prize. We got these movie passes, and we'll grab a random texter when we're done as well. So we'll come back with all that and lesson question, trash, music, news too. Stay with us. 93.3 WMMR. Everything that rocks. I was going to let that play. It's a big enough umbrella, but it's always us. It's always me that ends up getting wet, but it faded out.
Is there some sort of what story attached to that? That is that an add-on? Is that one of those things which is kind of an in-studio riff, or am I just remembering it?
I'm not really sure.
I think you might be remembering when Preston didn't know what the lyrics were.
I used to say it was sitting in an umbrella.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
Sitting in an umbrella, and then Nick corrected me one day live on the air, and I was like, I felt really embarrassed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
I'm gonna get him.
I'm gonna kill him.
I'm gonna kill him.
But we did
I just
find
thought,
out.
like, as a real fan, you would have known that.
No.
I want to fight you.
You're right. I'm no fan.
Get away from me.
But we did learn, Steve, that in the beginning of Roxanne, that Sting sits on the piano.
That is an accident.
And
riff on it.
They just happened to be, he was doing it as a joke, and then you hear him laugh, and they left it in.
I love that. It's one of the quintessential parts of the song.
Yep.
That was such a cool interview we had with him last year. Like,
It's unbelievable.
Such a nice guy.
We talked to Sting.
I had to
and
pinch
David
myself.
Faustino.
I know, yeah. But like with the Sting interview, a couple of times I had to pinch myself because like, he's iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We need a winner for Secret Text where we're looking for caller number 11, and that is Jeff. Let's go to Jeff. Hi, Jeff. Morning.
Hey, good morning. Great to talk to you guys.
Thanks, buddy. It'll be even better if you win. What's the word of the week? Or not the word of the week, the secret text word.
The word I have is spice.
Spice. Yay! Correct. And, of course, that ties right in with Dune. So hang on. We're going to set you up with a 4-pack of tickets for the advanced screening of Dune Part 2. Monday, February 26, 7 p.m. at the AMC in Neshaminy and Ben Salem. The film from Warner Brothers Pictures and Legendary Pictures is the highly anticipated follow-up to 2021's 6-time Academy Award-winning Dune. And we have a random texter, and that happens to be Joe Harahan, I think.
All right.
And he is from Downingtown. And so, Joe, you get the same thing, so congratulations, my friend. We will ask another question of you and see if you can answer this. The lesson question prize, a $50 What a Crock Meals to Go gift card. And the question we need to know, what product do both Jeremy Irons and Eddie Vedder endorse? 215-263-WMMR. If you know that answer, you should call right now. What product do both Jeremy Irons and Eddie Vedder endorse? 215-263-WMMR. Give us a call.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
All right, let's get the stories from Steve. What's up this morning, Steve?
Well, Prince Harry winning his case seeking damages against the publishers of the Daily Mirror for hacking his phone. Harry was extremely embarrassed that his photo library contained spank bank pics of Minerva McGonagall.
What?
Right? It's just weird.
Yeah. She's hot.
Maggie Smith. The Golden Bachelorette is happening, with ABC announcing that the spin-off series is going into production soon. ABC revealed auditions for the Golden Bachelorette are revolving around just one question. Did you ever have a beefcake poster of Dwight Eisenhower?
Wow.
Oh my God.
And finally, Kylie Jenner doing some damage control for fans opposed to her new pixie-style haircut, which we all think looks good. Kylie says that while the hair is shorter, she still has the same shark after electroshock therapy eyes. And that's your Hollywood Trash.
All righty, we will see if you know the answer to this question. What product do both Jeremy Irons and Eddie Vedder endorse? We'll go over to Craig and see if we can get the answer. Hi, Craig.
Hey, what's up, Preston and Steve? How are you? Casey, it's your boy from Fish. You went to Devon Prep.
Oh!
Yeah, what's up, DP?
All right, Craig, do me a favor. Tell me what product both Jeremy Irons and Eddie Vedder endorse.
That would be Bagster.
The Bagster. Yes. Hold on a second, Craig. We are going to give you a $50 What a Crock Meals to Go gift card. What a Crock's delicious ready-made meals make dinner easy for anyone. You just drop a meal into your slow cooker in the morning, and then you come home to dinner waiting for you. All right, music news.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
You want to go? All right, a few things to cover in music news this morning. We'll start with, it's kind of old news. It was revealed right after our show yesterday, but Pearl Jam will release a new album on April 19th and followed up with a global tour. The title track, Dark Matter, is available to purchase if you'd like, but only on their website. And of course, we played that a couple of times yesterday.
Global tour.
Last year, the entire band retreated to Malibu and recorded at Shangri-La Studios with Grammy-winning producer Andrew Watt. They wrote and recorded the album all in the span of 3 weeks. Pretty wild. Tour kicks off.
There's more. Baxter, Brazil is donating.
The tour
refuse pickup
kicks off May 4th, and they will be making 2 stops in Philadelphia, September 7th and 9th at the Wells Fargo Center. There is special registration that has to be done for the tickets, and you can find all the information at WMMR.com. We are doing a promotion called 10 Days of Pearl Jam, which starts this Friday. And you want to listen for the Pearl Jam song of the day. You'll be the 25th caller when we play it. You win tickets for the September 9th show. And there's a daily cheat sheet at WMMR.com to help you win. And you can find out about the verified fan information registration at WMMR.com.
I was chatting with a really nice lady at the sorority party last night, Steve, and she's going to see them twice in Spain this summer. Yeah, and I was like, man, that's cool.
So that's a band that people get on a flight for.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. So, like I said, go to the website, check out the info for that.
Are they in the roster for? Well, would they play the Sphere? Is the Sphere?
I think they should.
Right?
I agree with you.
Yeah, they'd be the type of band that could do it.
That could do it.
I assume they would have to have a more rigid set list.
Right.
Yeah.
They really flow with their, like Eddie writes it up right before the show.
And I don't think U2 varies very much from night to night. I think it's pretty much the same show every night.
Yeah, you're talking about a multimedia presentation.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
The graphics could be amazing though for Pearl Jam.
But everything's got to be worked out ahead of time.
Yeah.
So
It's like you're standing in a bag.
This writes itself.
And look at that, it's huge. The walls of Jericho.
But it's not Jericho, it's the bag.
It's a dumpster in the bag.
Yeah.
I think Eddie actually went and saw U2 twice at the Sphere already.
Okay.
He was there opening night, and he liked it so much. I really want to go see
I
it.
think
Man. It looks so neat.
Yeah, it presents a whole series of creative possibilities too,
I'll be there in April.
I probably should have looked a little more at going to see U2. I'm not going to. It's probably they're starting to get to the end of their run, I assume. But it's really one I should have done because I've seen
U2 is just wrapping up the Jack Selling for Less tour.
Every tour, but wow, I didn't know that.
You could sell it for maximum, but they sell it for less.
Lincoln Park.
That's right, Eddie.
Lincoln Park and Volbeat have both earned new sales and streaming certifications in the United States. Lincoln Park's sophomore album, 2003's Meteora, is now certified 8 times platinum.
Wow.
Sales jumped when the release of the 20th anniversary deluxe edition, which came out last April, had arrived, and the album's last certification was 7 times platinums in 2017. Meanwhile, Volbeat scored their first ever platinum certificate in the U.S. for their single, The Devil's Bleeding Crown. That track originated from the group's 2016 album, Seal the Deal.
Bad dentistry.
Let's boogie. Last July, Foreigner launched their farewell tour, but bassist Jeff Pilson said that doesn't mean that they're going away. In an interview, he said it just means this is the end of the 9 months on the road kind of touring. So that's why it's a farewell tour. I mean, we'll still be there. There's still some unfinished music that we'd like to finish up. He said that it would probably be next year before it's done. Because it is hard to write and record while touring. They'll be on a different tour with Styx and John Waite starting in June, and they're one of the shows coming to the Freedom Mortgage Pavilion, which, of course, you can win the Lawny tickets to this week for the Word of the Week prize.
I love that these sort of smorgasbord bills are becoming more popular. Like you talk about the Bret Michaels
Yeah.
His
Party
thing.
Gras.
Party Gras. Yeah.
It makes the most sense because it's I don't know if certain bands alone can draw enough to sell out an event.
Agreed.
And then if you get multiple bands on the bill, that's going to narrow their playlist a little bit. They're not going to get as adventurous.
Right.
And they'll play the songs that you know and love.
Here's another song off an album you never bought.
Yeah. All right, and then finally, Grammy-winning Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Carlos Santana, alongside Grammy-nominated Counting Crows, are going to tour North America this summer. That's
pretty
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, the Oneness Tour will stop in 29 cities, and they will be playing June 21st, Freedom Mortgage Pavilion, so you get to go to see them if you have the Lawny seats. Tickets go on sale this Friday, and you can pick those up. So there you go. That's what I have in music news for you this morning. Let us take a break. Come back in a second to wrap the program up. Don't miss our letter of the day and all the goodness. We'll have it all when we get back. Stay put. MMR rocks. And so does Twisted Sister with I Wanna Rock. I had one of the sorority sisters last night at our Galentine's Day party tell me about her 2-year-old who, whenever that song comes on, she goes crazy.
I love that.
Pretends like she plays guitar and jumps around the house screaming, I Want to Rock. That was such an adorable story. 10:42 on this Wednesday morning as the program is coming to a close. An enjoyable day. I would like to thank those who were at our Galentine's Day party for calling in this morning and sharing as we recapped all of that. But thanks again to Rivers Casino and Jack's Bar and Grill and the River Suites and Briganti Wines and Mariella?
Marinella.
I keep wanting to say Marabella. There was a restaurant that I used to go to called Marabella's, but she was wonderful with the bracelet making. We had a fantastic time. And also, thanks to everybody.
Paul and the salespeople here and everybody who helps put that stuff together and make sure that everything comes off without a hitch. It was just great. And you said at the end of the evening, to everyone in that room and everyone who supports any of the events that we do, that's the magic there. We can't thank you enough for doing that.
Yeah. And also thank you to Jamie Drysdale.
Yeah.
Flyers, they've won 4 straight. He's the new guy in town, and they're headed to Toronto, which is his hometown, to face off against Maple Leafs tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. So we're wishing him the best, but it was nice to meet him, which is cool. All right, so with that, we need to do the letter of the day. So Pierre Robert is making his way in. I'll go ahead and hit this thing.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
All right, and the Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by the letter
O as in opportunity.
All righty then, we got to know. And we also have a pair of 2024 Lawny passes for the summer concert season at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. Wide variety of concerts you're going to get to see, including Hozier, Chris Stapleton, Third Eye Blind, Kids Bop, Dave Matthews Band, Foreigner and Styx, Earth, Wind and Fire with Chicago, Jason Aldean, the Doobie Brothers, and Steve Winwood, 30 Seconds to Mars, Hootie and the Blowfish, Avril Lavigne, Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper, and more to be announced. The passes are on sale now at lawnpass.livenation.com. Another chance to win a pair of tickets for that, or for the Lawny setup, is for MMR VIPs at WMMR.com. Sweet deal.
Pierre, I love your pocket square. It's very classy.
Thank you. Thank you. There, it looks like
looks like a tissue.
Well, it looks like a tuxedo. I know.
Yeah.
Because I like to dress up when I come in. No, they are Kleenexes.
Are you still battling the same sinus infection?
I thought it was a cold, and I had to go back to the doctors yesterday. And
Really?
I do have another sinus infection and a secondary sinus infection. That they put a camera up my nose yesterday.
How was that?
It's really fun.
Right.
Did you watch it? Were you able to watch it?
As much as I could take. Then I turned away. He said, see this problem? I said, no, I don't see it. And then they did a little scan. He said, you see this? You got, this is bad, this is good, and this is bad. I go, sure, whatever.
That made me pass out one time. They did the camera up through my nose and then down my throat, and I had the vasovagal reaction to it, and quite literally in the chair with the camera up my nose and then down my throat, I passed out.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fun.
Well, they tell you, and I've had it happen a couple of times when they were going up through the nose and down, and they were checking out my esophageal issue for a while. And they tell you not to swallow. It's like, you're like, there's something in your throat that's your natural inclination is to do that. But yeah, it is a weird sensation.
Yeah. Another ear, nose, and throat guy used to put this tube up and then down my throat and make you talk.
Right.
And say, ee.
Yeah, they're checking your vocal cords, right?
Yeah.
I
They
had
were
that done
auditioning you
too.
for that epoxy commercial.
Yeah. But then they said, well, you see, you have a deviated septum. And I said, I know I'm deviated, but he goes, yeah. And he said, so, all right, let's try new antibiotics and this and this and this. And we'll see you in 2 weeks and maybe we'll do surgery. I go, what?
Oh, you could join the team. We can go all of us together. We'll just wipe out the whole air staff.
What do you got?
I have deviated septum and sinusitis, and
that's what I have.
I was supposed to. I tried to get it a few years ago, and like literally the week before, my insurance company said, "Nope, we're not going to pay for that."
Wow. Yeah, we were scheduled the same time.
I think I want to do it this summer. I'm tired of it because every time I have a migraine, it absolutely correlates with a blockage in my nasal passage.
Wow. And you,
so
Kathy?
there's a connection.
I have the exact same thing that they're talking about. Did you go to Dr. Palmer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we all.
Yeah, we
so
all go to
maybe he could. Maybe he just like set a day aside for all of us.
Yeah, we could broadcast from there.
That's right, a live broadcast.
I had knee surgery once, and I said to Dr. Nick, I said, I'd like to broadcast from here. And he goes, what? I said, until I go out, I could have a live camera mic. He goes, I'll ask. And he actually asked the hospital. They said, absolutely not.
Wait, Dr. Nick on the main line?
Yeah.
My brother. He did my brother's knee.
Okay. So I think a surgery day for the three of us.
Yes.
That'd be awesome.
We could all hold hands. We could
do it.
Think of the social media.
Yep.
Kathy could be in between me and Presbo.
Yep.
And we could be holding hands. And
could it be done
we're
in here?
about to go under. ... Will we make it? ... Tune in. Same
Yeah, except you two will be fine, and I'll die in surgery.
But that would get ratings.
Yes. Think of what it would do.
Think of us.
Kathy, stop thinking of yourself.
Don't be so selfish.
Do your Beasley best, for God's sakes. Come on, die for the company.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway,
All right.
so it'll
Well,
be fun.
so yep, you got that going on. What's up on the show, my man?
On the program, we've got Neil Young and Crazy Horse. We had 2 concert announcements. I never get concert announcements.
Amazing.
Pearl Jam at 11, and I had Neil at 12. Neil Young and Crazy Horse. They have not toured in a long time. It's called the Earth Tour. It'll be in May, relatively early for all these upcoming shows.
Pierre, is it a thematic? Because he'll do.
Yeah.
Right. He did this thing called Greendale some
Which
years ago.
I kind of liked. I know a lot of people didn't.
Didn't love it personally.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. You just never know.
You never know.
He's. I call him a mad scientist.
Yeah.
He's brilliant and utterly touched. So, he's going to do whatever.
Yeah.
If somebody calls out like Sugar Mountain, he'll just look at them like, "Are you out of your mind?"
I would love a Russ Never Sleeps kind of.
I saw Russ Never Sleeps. That was brilliant when that was done. But he did it. He worked it into all the older songs and newer songs.
Right.
I was working for you when he did that Greendale show, and you were doing post-concert coverage at the Freedom Mortgage Pavilion, whatever it was called at the time. And I just remember a steady stream of people walking out angry because he did like 2 hits, and they didn't advertise it very well that it was going to be that Greendale show.
Right.
So people went to see a Neil Young show expecting hits, and they got Cinnamon Girl at the very end of the night or something like that.
People didn't know it was actually like a music, like
a rock opera.
Right, with sets, and it is like Lake Wobegon days, Neil Young style.
Right.
Yeah, and it was, but I knew ahead of time, so I was.
It was a brilliant story. I mean, but I do think people should have been prepped more.
Just a bit.
As long as you know what you're getting, then it's fair game.
Yeah.
But with Neil, you really never know what you're getting. But I think since he's been away so long, other artists have come back before he has. That I think that it'll be pretty hit heavy show, but you never know.
All right.
Anyway, it goes on sale on Friday, and then it's Valentine's Day, so we'll do our traditional Valentine's Day block, which will include many love songs, and then, just to be fair and balanced, a number of hate songs.
Yes.
People love that.
That's fine.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. Thank you, Pierre. And I'll thank our sponsor. Preston and Steve Show has been brought to you today by Duncan. Preston and Steve Show runs on Duncan. Tomorrow, it's pre-Friday. It's Thursday. We'll do all kinds of stuff, and we'll have a guest on the show. Brian Quinn, Q from Impractical Jokers, will be joining us. So we'll see what else we get into. That's it. We're done. Rage on, and have yourself a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, friend. Bye-bye. it.